works. So awesome. Welcome to Million Dollar Author, Grow Your Income and Impact with Your Own Best-Selling Book. I've already said hello to a few of you. Thanks so much for being timely. And I want to respect your time and get started. I have a metric ton of content for you. I'm going to be going really fast. So this is like a 90-minute training. Be prepared. I hope you have notes. I hope you have the workbook that I sent you because I have a ton of stuff to go over with you today. As I said, I love a lot of feedback. So I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to want you typing in the question box. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll even adjust some of the content on the fly for you. And I have a couple of really cool special things. So during this presentation, what we're going to go over is I'm going to show you how, first of all, I used my own best-selling book to earn just over $1 million in 13 months. In fact, exactly $1,068,479 in a terrible economy. This is 2008, 2009. And since then, I've gone on to help hundreds of others become best-selling authors and do some really amazing things. Most importantly, though, I'm going to show you how you can replicate mine and their successes and create your own best-selling book to grow your income and impact. Now, some people tell me I have kind of a Southern accent. I've lived all over the country, but I did kind of grow up in Central Florida. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been in Southern California for the last almost 6 years. This is kind of what you're going to hear. This guy, me talking pretty quickly with kind of a funny accent. I have clients all over the world, so they have, a way to put up with my accent. So I hope you guys do as well. And as I said, we're going to go about 90 minutes, and I love a lot of feedback from you, so I'm going to want to hear back from you guys as well. If you stay to the end, I'm going to do a couple of special things. Number one, I'm going to give you some free training that I've only given out one time. And the free trainings that I'm going to give you are specially focused on two things. One is creating and getting as much PR and media attention. And I'm talking radio, TV, blogs, podcasts. We've had clients on everything from the Howard Stern Show to the New York Times to you name it, ABC, NBC, CBS, Lucky Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine, blah, blah, blah. I'm also going to show you how you can set up your own system to get as many speaking engagements, if that's something you're interested in, as you want. And the cool thing, towards the end of the webinar, I'm actually going to go off the PowerPoint presentation, if you're interested in this, and show you how we generate literally thousands of leads for my business and how you can do the exact same thing with your own best-selling books. Now, if this stuff is interesting to you, do me a favor, type in the question box, yes, Rob, sounds good. Hey, I want this training or something like that so that I know I'm on the right track in giving you some stuff that you think is going to be really useful to you. So type in the question box, yes. Okay, so yes, sounds great. Yes, perfect. Cool with a K. Yes, I need this. Sounds groovy. Sure. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Oh, and by the way, as I said, this is the very training that we teach our clients and that we use ourselves to book our clients on all kinds of really, really cool and powerful media. So before I get too deep, I don't like to spend a lot of time on this, but I think it's at least instructional that you know who I am. After all, I'm going to be teaching you for the next 90 minutes on how we've done this. I said my name's Rob Kosberg. I'm the founder of Bestseller Publishing. Been featured on radio, TV, podcast, blogs all over the country. I do not come from a traditional publishing world, though. I actually come from more of a real estate related background. And in fact, I'm 52 now. From the time I was 18 years old on, I'd been selling real estate. My dad owned a real estate company. I got my real estate license at 18. I got my broker's license at 19. By the time I was 21, I owned 3 homes. In my early 40s, I owned 3 real estate companies that were generating about $100 million a year in sales and millions of dollars a year in personal income to me. That was a real estate company, a mortgage company, and I was also a licensed title agent and owned a closing and escrow company. Now, this was in the early 2000s. And since I've already shared that I'm from Florida, and this is the early 2000s, you probably know where this is going. Oh, let me shut that off. I'm in my office right now, so our staff is here answering the phones busily. So there I was in my early 40s and in the mid 2000s, in an incredible business that was doing some amazing things. But you already know, looking back in hindsight, being 2020, what was about to happen. And that was we were about to get hit with a pretty severe financial and real estate crisis. In fact, though I had a feeling, and many of us had a feeling, that it couldn't go on the way it was going, we had no idea of how bad it would be. And in fact, those three businesses that did $100 million in transactions and millions of dollars in personal income, I completely closed the doors to in early 2008. By this time, I'm in my mid 40s, early to mid 40s. I'd been in real estate a long, long time. And there I was, I've been married for 27 years. I had all the kind of trappings of that kind of wealth, three kids in private school. You know what that looks like. And I was kind of left, you know, in a tremendous quandary. In fact, I still remember how hard it was and how painful it was, sitting in my 6,000 square foot office space while people came in because I put ads on Craigslist to take my stuff away for pennies on the dollar. And I mean, dozens of desks and phone systems and computers and you name it. And so I was left there wondering, okay, well, what am I going to do now? Fortunately, I was, friends with some pretty smart individuals and in a couple of coaching and mastermind groups. And I asked them if they were in my position, what would they do to reinvent themselves? And in fact, start over in a brand new industry where I was completely unknown and needed to make some income and an impact as quickly as possible. It was suggested to me that I write a book. I'd never thought about writing a book before, but I wrote this book, Life After Debt. This was back in 2008. And I made a lot of mistakes, but I needed a plan to attract clients and I needed something to position me as an expert or authority in the marketplace. And I decided from the advice that I was given that a book would be the best tool for me to use. Let me tell you something. It has changed my life. I am so thankful that I got that advice and that I listened to that advice because it has been transformational. The book did pretty well. It became a bestseller in many, many categories. In fact, it was the number one nonfiction book out of over 2 million titles in the entire Amazon store. You see, it says down here at the bottom, number 12 paid in the Kindle store. That's because the top 11 were all fiction. Number 12 was the nonfiction book, and it was actually my book. I was outselling some pretty famous people like Tony Robbins. There's my book there, Dave Ramsey, guru of finance, David Bach, another New York Times bestseller. And all of that led to some pretty amazing opportunities. I got featured on all kinds of TV, radio, speaking engagements, etc. But what I really needed was to generate an income. And it did that for me. I shared with you, in fact, the exact number, $1,068,479 in a brand new business in, quite frankly, the worst economy in my generation. And I'm 52 years old now. Maybe some of you experienced that. Maybe you know exactly how I felt. But I needed something that was going to be transformational. And my book became that. Now, since that time, in the last roughly 5.5 years, I now get to help smart, savvy business owners that want to become authorities in their markets by being best-selling authors and appearing on TV, radio, etc. I actually sold my financial services company about 3 years ago. I still own that. It was a multi-million-dollar company. But now I focus solely on helping authors of all kinds to be successful with their books. I have clients in over a dozen countries, Australia, New Zealand, throughout the UK, Norway, Austria, Canada, all over the United States. Every week, we help our clients get featured on TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, blogs, podcasts. Even right now, I'm helping one of the stars of Shark Tank with his latest book. And all this came about because I decided to write Life After Debt. I am so thankful that I took that advice. Now, before we dive into the content, for our friends at the FTC, the results I'm about to show you are not typical for most businesses or entrepreneurs. I don't know what you're going to get out of this. Unfortunately, most people don't take action. I didn't know what I was doing, and I made a ton of mistakes but I was able to get that success. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and how my clients now do it every single week. But I have no idea what you're going to do with this material. I'm going to show you some amazing results. In fact, I've already shown you my tax return, for crying out loud. I'm going to show you even more amazing results of my clients. What I do know is not what you will do or won't do. What I know is I work with clients who I know I can get massive results for. So, just for our friends at the FTC, I want to go ahead and put out that disclaimer. Here's what we're going to be going over today. I'm going to share with you these 3 secrets of becoming and being a $1 million earner with your own best-selling book. Secret number 1, how to get your book done in no time flat without having to grind daily over thousands of words or lock yourself away in a cabin in the woods for 6 months or longer. Secret number 2. Now, by the way, some of you may already have a book done, and if you do, congratulations. And maybe you want to know not so much how to get your book done, but you want to know how to make money, or you want to know how to promote your book. Well, that's secret number 2 and secret number 3. Secret number 2 is how to promote your book to bestseller, even if you have no platform, no list, no following whatsoever. And then secret number 3, I'm going to show you how to earn big money from your book, even if you are completely unknown. This is what we're going to be covering in the next 75 or so minutes. As I said, we're going to be going really, really fast. You're going to see this slide a couple of times. And if you get nothing else out of this, I want you to understand this. And that is that your book, your best-selling book, is your gateway to your 7-figure and beyond business. Now, you may ask yourself, Rob, why 3 secrets? Why not 4 or 6 or 7 or some other number, right? Okay, I get that. Well, here's the deal. What I understand and what I know is that there are primarily 3 phases to you really making a great impact and income with your best-selling book. And those 3 phases we call publish, promote, and profit. And that is everything from the initial creation and writing of your book and publishing of your book to the actual promotion and making that book gain traction and even become a bestseller, and then the profit of that book. Now, unfortunately, many people that I know are stuck in what I call author 1.0. See, author 1.0, when it comes to publishing, promoting, and profiting with your own best-selling book, looks like this. If you're in the writing phase and your book is not completed, then 1.0, where you can get stuck, is thinking, well, the only way for me to get my book done is by just being a daily writer. I just need to sit down and grind out 500 words a day or 1,000 words a day, or I need to just schedule some time on vacation or away or go away on the weekend and just start writing. And if that's what you think it takes to actually get your book created, then more than likely you're stuck in 1.0. Can that work for some people? Yes, I found about 3 to 5% of the people that I speak to, and we speak to thousands of authors every year, about 3 to 5% actually can grind it out and get their book completed. But what about the rest of us? And that's including me as well. So author 1.0, when it comes to promotion, is you think you need a platform already in place so that your book can gain traction. And if that's what you think, then you're probably stuck trying to figure out, okay, what do I do to really build a platform so that my book will sell? Let me tell you, there's a better way, and that's even backwards of the way that I did it and the way we show our authors to do it. And then author 1.0, when it comes to actually profiting with your best-selling book, is thinking that the way you're really going to make money is the royalties from that book, or using your book as some kind of glorified business card. And if those are the things that you think, then I'm here to tell you that you can make a tiny bit of progress with that type of thinking, but there's a much better way to really fast track your success. We call that author 2.0. Author 2.0, when it comes to getting your book written, is something we call hybrid ghostwriting. I'm going to share with you the details of hybrid ghostwriting in just a few minutes. When it comes to promotion of your book, author 2.0 is I'm going to actually show you how you can build your platform at the exact same time you sell your book. You don't have to wait for your book to be sold, or wait for you to have a platform for your book to be sold. And then Profit 2.0 is using your book to attract unlimited media, speaking engagements, and even generating leads to grow your business. So, without further ado, let's jump into secret number one, which is all around the Publish Author 2.0, which is how to get your book done in no time flat without having to grind daily over thousands and thousands of words or lock yourself away in a cabin of the woods. This is what we call the publish phase. First, before we even get started in what the publish phase looks like, understand this. The sky is the limit for you. I speak to authors every single day, and I can't tell you the number of authors have been wanting to write their book for 5 years or 10 years or even longer. I had a lady email me earlier this week that said, I've been dreaming of writing a book for over 30 years. Let me tell you, the sky is the limit, but if it takes you 30 years to complete your book, then there's a problem. You know, a survey was done not long ago in the New York Times, and they surveyed the US adult population and found that over 81% of the US adult population wants to write a book and believes that they have a book in them. So, right now, if you haven't gotten your book done, you're part of that 81%. Here's the challenge: less than 1% ever actually get it done and completed. Less than 1%. So, what we want to do in the publish phase is show you the steps necessary to go from idea or thought all the way to completed book in a matter of weeks, not in months or years, like many successful people get stuck on. And the sky is the limit. Think John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar. No one ever heard of them before they started writing their books. With fiction, Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, these people completely unknown, completely self-made because their best-selling books led the way for them. If you're stuck in the old way, then you probably have one of these kind of mindsets. You think you need to be a daily writer, someone that's writing 500 or 1,000 words per day. Or if you have what some people term as writer's block, well, you just need to write your way through it. And just write. No purpose at all. Just sit down. You may have heard that from some gurus. Just sit down and start writing without any purpose, and you're going to eventually get into a flow, or sequester yourself, or maybe even just hire a ghostwriter and do this kind of interview process thing and cross your fingers that it comes out right. That is the old way of doing things, and I'm telling you, there is a much better way. I want to share with you a case study. This is one of my clients, Delano Lewis. Delano was the U.S. ambassador to South Africa during the Clinton administration and during the time that Nelson Mandela was in South Africa. He was also the CEO of NPR, or National Public Radio. So in both business as well as politics, he had reached really the pinnacle of success. Well, Delano came to me a couple of years ago because he had been stuck for over 10 years trying to get his book written. He had done the whole writing 500 or 1,000 words a day, and he had just whole manuals of material, but without any purpose. He had hired a ghostwriter to try to capture his voice, but that wasn't successful. So he had been stuck trying to get this done. Where was he stuck? Well, probably if you're stuck, it's the exact same place that Delano was. You see, the first and biggest problem that many people have in writing is they don't start with a proper foundation. You see, there are two main issues. What is it to write about is one, and then how do you actually get it written is two. Let's talk first for a few minutes about the what. You see, if you just start writing and you hope that this all comes together for you, then you may end up, and I've had clients come to me and tell me, Rob, I have literally 1,000 pages of content. Can you help me? And the help is no. We can't sort through 1,000 pages of material because you wrote, it's like building a building without having a foundation. You started writing without a real structural plan and foundation. And so, yes, you have tons of building materials, but throwing bricks in a pile does not make a skyscraper. So what do you have to do? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to nail the what to write about and how to communicate it so that it attracts your ideal audience and your right client. So I want you to ask yourself, in your writing, maybe you've already gotten your book completed, so you're kind of tuning out right now. You're thinking, well, my book's done, Rob. I'm just going to wait for the next section where we talk about how you promote it. Okay, well, if you've already gotten it done, let me ask you this. Did you write, or are you currently writing about the thing that your ideal audience wants the most? Or did you just sit down and write your own personal story, thinking that your story is what's going to be interesting to people? I don't want to burst your bubble. I want to be nice about it, but I also want to be truthful and honest with you. We call this the Kim Kardashian conundrum. And the Kim Kardashian conundrum is this. If your name is not Hillary Clinton, if your name is not Kim Kardashian, then understand this. People don't want to hear your story. I know that sounds a little harsh. I'm really a nice guy, I promise. But please understand this. People want to read about people that are already famous. People want to read the memoirs or the story about somebody that already has a huge platform. Now, does that mean that your story isn't important? No, your story is really important. But understand this, if you don't position it correctly, if you don't position it in a way that is attractive to them, then they'll never take the first step to read about your story. So you have to communicate it to them in a way that appeals to them. So, how do we do that? Well, Zig Ziglar, and I'm dating myself a little bit here, used to have this saying that we all listen to the same radio station, WIIFM. And I see a couple of people already typing. Yeah, I know what WIIFM is. Yeah, it's what's in it for me. That's WIIFM. Now, when it comes to a famous celebrity, we already know what's in it for us. We want to read the dirt, or we want to read the stuff that's not been told, or we're interested in that celebrity or that persona, and so we want to read their biography. But if people don't know you, they're not interested in that. What they're interested in is themselves, their own problems, their own challenges. So, what do you do with your story? Well, you need to take your story and you need to position it in a way that tells all about the solutions to the problems that they have in their personal life. You see, if you don't position it in that way, then understand this, they're never going to buy it. They're never going to download it. They're never going to be interested in it. Because what they're seeing is a cover that says, hey, the book is all about me, the author. And they're thinking, well, I don't even know who you are. Why am I interested in you? I have a problem that I want to solve. And if you can help them to solve that problem, then you're going to get their attention and you're going to start building your platform. So, how do you do that? We do something called the Author Market Questionnaire. This is a really, really important component of our Done For You program at Bestseller Publishing. So when we bring on a new client, and this is something obviously you need to do for yourself, but I'm just sharing with you how we do it. When we bring on a new client, the first thing we have them do is fill out several forms, and one of those forms is called the Author Market Questionnaire. The Author Market Questionnaire is a deep dive survey into the fears, frustrations, wants, and aspirations of their ideal client or audience. Okay, let me say that again. Fears, frustrations, wants, and aspirations. Now, those are two things on the negative side and two things on the positive side. So we get our clients to really try to get into the head of their reader and their ideal customer, because when they do that, they can now start thinking in a way that is communicating with the conversation that's already going on in their customer's head. And look, the more specific, the better. We will literally spend 3 weeks to a month with our clients brainstorming the fears, frustrations, wants, and aspirations, and the right way to communicate right out of the gate with their ideal client so that we build the proper foundation. When you do that, guess what you get? You get an amazing hook, an amazing way to hook your ideal client. You see, this is where your title comes from. This is where your subtitle comes from. This is where your table of contents comes from. A lot of people ask me, Rob, I got a great story. I've overcome these challenges, or I've helped all these people in this specific way. How do I actually format that? Well, the way I just described it, by really thinking about the problem that you solve and really thinking about the benefits and the promise of your story, will lead you right to the title, the subtitle, and the table of contents. This is how you nail what to write about. And guess what? After that, the writing is easy. Now, we'll talk about the how in just a second, but we spend literally, as I said, 3 weeks to a month really making sure that our ideal clients have this so that they communicate really in a powerful and authentic way with their audience, and you can do the exact same thing. So when you nail that, now you have to deal with, okay, Rob, I got what I'm writing about. Now I want to figure out, how do I actually write it? Well, for some of us, this is how we feel. We feel a little stuck, like this little guy. And I chose him because I just got a new puppy for Christmas. So he's a bull terrier puppy. Actually, she is a bull terrier puppy, a white one, just like the Target dog. They're the cutest little pups. But I felt like, just like this little guy or gal, totally stuck. When I wrote my book, I figured there were like two primary ways to get a book done. Primary way number one was like this grind. Like, I just need to sit down, I need to figure it all out, and I need to start writing. And I knew, just kind of innately, that's not who I am. That's not going to work for me. So I thought, well, what's the other option? I have somebody else write it for me, a quote unquote traditional ghostwriter. Now, remember I told you earlier that I made tons of mistakes. And in fact, I made $1 million mistake with my book. And if I can help you avoid that $1 million mistake, then I can save you a lot of cash, because I wish someone could have helped me avoid that. The $1 million mistake I made was going through the traditional ghostwriting process and not knowing that it wouldn't really work for me the way it was set up. Let me explain what I mean. If any of you have ever dealt with a traditional ghostwriter, here's how it works. Typically speaking, you will give your ghostwriter your title, subtitle, and table of contents ahead of time. Now, look, you can pay ghostwriting $25,000, $50,000. I know ghostwriters who charge as much as $100,000. And for $100,000, sure, they'll help you with all the elements of it. But I didn't pay $100,000, but I did pay a lot, 5 figures, back in 2008 and 2009 to get my book ghostwritten. And my ghostwriter did not help me with that. She asked me instead to get that created. Now I'm a marketing person, so I was able to kind of figure out the hard way how to do that stuff. She said, once I have all of that, Rob, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do interviews back and forth. And I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. And those questions we're going to record those sessions. And from those questions, which are really the questions from each chapter of my table of contents, I am going to craft your book. And I thought, wow, if you can't tell, I can talk, right? So I can do this. She'll ask me questions. I'll talk. That's exactly what I did. We did about 6 to 8 sessions. I don't even remember how many. It's almost 10 years ago now. At the end of about 2 months, and I'm now about 3 months into this, because it took me a month to get her the stuff she needed, and then 2 months in the recording. She said, Rob, give me a month. Give me 30, 60 days. I'm going to come back to you with a first draft. She came back to me in about 45, 60 days with a first draft. It was 186 pages. I remember exactly what it was. I was so excited. Wouldn't you be? I was thrilled. I thought, this is fantastic. I can't wait. I started reading it. Almost immediately, I was concerned. By the end of the introduction, I was scared. By the end of chapter 1, I was frustrated. By the end of chapter 3, I was done. I threw that in the garbage, and I never contacted the ghostwriter again. I didn't ask for my money back. I didn't do any of that. I just moved on after about 5 months of frustration with a ghostwriter. And what did I do? I did the only other thing I thought I could do, and that was I sat down and I just started writing it. My first book is less than 100 pages, and it took me almost another year to complete it. I know, I'm a slow writer. So why was it $1 million mistake? Well, I showed you my tax returns in the beginning of this. I made $1 million in the first 13 months when I launched my best-selling book and my new business. If I could have shortcut the process, the 18-month, almost 18-month process of getting my book written, I know I could have made another $1 million, because that seven figures that I made was the least amount that I made with my financial services company using my book. That was year one. So what is the problem? And what is the solution? The problem with my book, and that I found after talking to thousands of other authors, is that though the ghostwriter that wrote for me had good grammar and punctuation, beautiful sentence structure, and wrote a very factual book, it didn't capture my voice. It didn't have like the authentic me. And because of that, I didn't want to publish it. And nor should I have wanted to publish it. So what have we done to solve that? We came up with something because we found that this was a common problem, not just for me, but for everybody that goes the traditional route. We came up with something we call hybrid ghostwriting. Hybrid ghostwriting is a way that you can write very, very quickly and get your voice captured in an authentic and powerful and positive way. Here's how it works. And I would write this stuff down because, I've never heard anybody else discuss this. As I said, I don't come from the traditional publishing world. We've crafted this. I have 7 full-time writers that write for me now, as well as people that edit and do formatting and graphic design and all those other things. And this is the process that we follow. If you've ever heard a great TED Talk, and that's why this image is on the screen. And if you don't know what that is, don't leave the webinar now, but later on, go to TED.com or TEDx.com. A great TED Talk always follows a certain flow. And what is that flow? Well, great TED Talks are about 20 minutes long, which coincidentally is about the length of a chapter, a good chapter. They're about 20 minutes long. They start with great story, captivating story. And maybe it's a story about the speaker. Maybe it's a story from the speaker's past. Maybe it's a story from a client case study or somebody that they helped. But it starts with great story. And then oftentimes there's an open loop that's left, meaning that the story is not culminated. It just ends. Then the speaker goes into the 1, 2, or 3 main points and then culminates the entire story, the 20-minute TED Talk, with the closing the loop and giving the kind of final results of the story that they started with. This is what captivates you with a great speech or great TED Talk. And I'm here to tell you that the same thing will captivate your readers. And if you process a 20-minute TED-style talk into a chapter, then you're going to have compelling content. Now, look, you're still going to need it edited. You're still going to need it, changed for grammar and punctuation. You have to change the spoken word into the written word, and there's a difference. But what's most important, this is how we capture the voice of our authors. And this is absolutely how you can, in a very quick manner, get your voice captured as well by speaking your book, and not just speaking it to some traditional ghostwriter who asks you questions. The interview process doesn't work, but instead crafting a great little TED Talk for every single chapter that you do. This is how you can do it. I shared with you in the beginning about my client, Delano Lewis. This is what Delano said about this. He says, Rob has a system that works. That's the hybrid ghostwriting. He takes a personal interest in his authors, and to me, it's a one-stop shop that was a savings of time, energy, and money, but also helped finally move this project forward in a very efficient manner. Remember, he had been trying to do this for 10 years. My thanks go out to Rob and Bestseller Publishing, etc. Delano, we got him featured on over 9 different TV stations, from ABC, NBC, Fox. His book became an international bestseller. We got it done in a matter of just a few months, all because of the hybrid ghostwriting process. You can do the same thing. Now, let me give you a case study, and then I want to ask some questions of you. Now, I know several of you are asking, well, Rob, how do we promote the book? Rob, how do we profit? Look, I'm going to go through that in just a second. But for those of you that haven't gotten your book written, or those of you that wrote it just thinking your story is going to be what sells, I just gave you gold on how you can get it done quickly and efficiently and something that will absolutely sell. You can do this. Let me share about case study number one, give you guys some inspiration. Then I want to open it up to some thoughts. I want to ask you a question. Mike Dieter came to us probably about 4 years ago now. Mike is an environmental scientist and wanted to get large speaking engagements and really grow his consulting business, but he had never really done a speaking engagement of more than 25 or so people. We helped him write this book, Renew and Sustain, which is all about his consulting practice. It's all about zero impact. It's all about renewable energy, etc. We launched it, made it an international bestseller, and then started working on PR for Mike. We got Mike featured on the #1 radio station in Washington, D.C., over 2 million listeners a month. We got him featured in the Epic Times. That is one of the biggest blogs in the country, 8 million unique visitors. We got Mike a 5-page spread. He's been on TV all over the country, Fox Baltimore, California, NBC, Fox Pennsylvania. We even got him featured in the New York Times. Well, after that, we reached out to the green festivals. Now, if you know anything about the renewable energy space, the green festivals are the largest conferences in that space. They routinely have between 20 and 30,000 people at their conference. We reached out to them and we showed them, they had never heard of Mike, but we sent them Mike's best-selling book and showed them all the media coverage, everything from ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox to the New York Times. And they immediately booked Mike for the Washington, D.C. Green Festival. He was the keynote speaker in front of over 20,000 attendees in the Washington, D.C. Green Festival. The cool thing is it didn't end there. It went so well, they booked him for the L.A. Green Festival as a keynote speaker, the Portland, Oregon Green Festival as a keynote speaker. Each one of these conferences had over 20,000 people, and the San Francisco Green Festival, which actually ended up having over 30,000 attendees. He went from never having spoken to more than 25 to 50 people to now being a keynote speaker in front of over 30,000 people. And recently, Mike posted this to our private Facebook group. He said, Rob, I'm going to be a TED speaker at a local TEDx event, life goal accomplished, check, all because Mike decided to do his own best-selling book. So I've been speaking for a few minutes. Let me rest my voice, but let me ask you a question. We've talked a lot about getting your book published, meaning writing it and getting it going. What could the right book do for you? Take a moment, type in the question box. What do you want the right book to do for you? Do you want big speaking engagements like Mike? Do you want to be on TV? Do you want your own radio show? What is it? Do you want to generate massive leads for your business? What do you want your book to do for you? Let's be specific for a moment. Take a moment. I'd like to read those and I'd like to get some inspiration for the rest of us because the right book could absolutely explode your business and your life. What could the right book do for you? So Lou says, I want something to live beyond me. You know, Lou, that is a big, big idea these days for people. You know, having something that's a legacy. I was meeting with a client today. Actually, I don't often meet face-to-face with clients because I'm in Los Angeles and I have clients all over the world. But I sat down with a new client who's 83 years old. And what she wanted something that would be a legacy and live forever. So very, very similar to what you're talking about. I love that idea. Trinell says, I want to do conferences. Awesome. How big? Do you want to do your own conferences that are 50, 100, 200 people? Do you want to speak on massive stages? Awesome. Paul says, I want to go on the lecture tour in retirement. The books are already written. Fantastic. Great. Imagine what your book being an international bestseller could do for you having your own conference tour. I love that idea. Anna says, I want to inspire others to share their expertise. Fantastic. You want to inspire others to share by your own sharing. I love that. JS says, I want my book to be a basis for a viable, sustainable franchise. Cool. I don't know what franchise you're talking about, but I can tell you that I have seen my clients use a book just like I used mine to actually start a brand new business. And I even have helped, I think I have a couple of examples in here of clients that I've helped that are franchise builders. One, Jim Hansen, who was the CEO of franchising for Subway. He took them from 6 stores 30 years ago to over 20,000 franchise locations. So I don't know what you mean by your own sustainable franchise, but that's very cool. Melinda says, I want to open up doors for my next 66 books. Fantastic. I don't know why 66, but great. Ginny says, I want to get these ideas in front of as many people as possible, change people's minds about how they're raising their children. Love it. Joel, freedom to impact people. Valerie, get my message out. Sandra, TV exposure. Yes, TV. You know, TV is awesome. We have clients on TV every single week. But one of the funnest things I do, and it's a way for you to reach literally millions of people and generate customers. Susan says, I want to be a main speaker at conferences, make enough money so I can travel and pay bills and have a legacy of works. Love it. Stephanie says, I want to do public speaking, talk shows, radio to talk to students at schools, high school, and college. Love it. Sandra, Melinda, Ethelda, Tom, Sis, Rosie, Daphne, Chitra, Augusta, Patricia, Greer, Paulette, Anton. Good night. Dinah, Lou, Linda, Stephanie, Brooke, Alyssa, Sherry, Denisha, Deline. Thank you for your comments. Brooke, Paulette, we got to move on though. Thank you for your comments. Remember this slide? Your best-selling book is your gateway to your seven-figure and beyond business. It was for me, and it absolutely is for you. Let's dive into secret number 2, how to hit the bestseller list in any genre, even if you have no list, no following, and no platform whatsoever. I bet a bunch of you are very interested in this because this is kind of the secret sauce. This is the sexy stuff in a lot of ways. You know, traditional publishers make this seem so hard. You know, they want you to go find an agent, for example. Like they won't even speak to you. They want to speak to you through an agent. And then you have to write a 50-page proposal. And in fact, do you know that in some cases, 50-page proposals will cost $15,000 to $20,000 to get written? Some of you may have already gotten that done. And then they want you to shop it around to different publishers. And here's the thing, the worst part of it all, they're only really interested in you if you have a gigantic following. Traditional publishers will ask you primarily 3 questions. They don't care if you have the cure for cancer. I know this. What they want to know is, how big is your email list? How big is your social media following, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.? And if you're actively practicing in some type of business, how big is your past and present client list? Now, why are they interested in that? Not your idea. It's really simple. Because they don't sell your books. They don't market your books. You're expected to market and sell your books. That's why you need to have a platform. Look, you don't need them, okay? I'm going to show you how you can get this done for yourself and absolutely build your own platform without any kind of traditional publisher who's not going to do it for you anyway. So I want you to burn this image in your mind. This is the way you need to think about how you create and how you take your book and make it a bestseller. Let me give you some bad news first of all. Do you know that the average book sells only 200 copies in its lifetime? In its lifetime. So if you write your book today and you live for 30 years and you don't do anything to promote your book and you just let it be an average book, it will sell about 200 copies over the next 30 years. And most of those will be sold to your friends, family, and yourself that you give out. So if you don't do anything, that's what you can expect. So the idea is to really think of your book and creating a bestseller like this launch. Now, I know the space shuttle isn't flying anymore. Rockets do every day. But you'll see this launch of the space shuttle, there's this giant tank and giant rocket boosters on the side. Now, my understanding, and I don't know if I'm completely accurate, if I'm wrong, then someone type it in and I will read it out. But my understanding is the space shuttle will use 90% of its energy and fuel just to get out of the Earth's atmosphere. 90%. That's why the rocket boosters and the tank fall off when the space shuttle begins to go into orbit. 90%. It has to use all of this energy to cut out of the Earth's atmosphere. Let me tell you, when you publish a book, that is exactly the way you need to think about it. You see, your ideal client is getting thousands of other opportunities and marketing messages every single day. And you need to cut through that atmosphere by launching your book in a way that gets their attention and gets in front of them. So how do you do that? Well, there are 5 primary steps to the launch. You want to write these down because I'm going to go through them fast. Then I'm going to go through each one of them. 5 steps that we take for every single launch. Step number 1 is what we call the foundation. And that is, you need to have your title, your cover, and your formatting done great. Okay? And I'll share with you why in just a second. But that's step 1. Step 2 is what we call the soft launch or the review phase. You must get 4 and 5-star reviews for your book right out of the gate. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2. You need to have at least 7 to 10 within the first week or 2. This is hard to do, but I'll talk about that. Step number 3 is for the launch itself. Think of the launch as a 7-day window. You need to do paid advertising. We use over 50 different websites that we do paid advertising on for our clients. Step number 4, massive social media, and I'm talking Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. We actually launch in front of 1 million people a day when we do a client's book launch. And then step number 5 is press releases, announcing to media that your book is just published and that your book is successful and what your book is about. Those are the 5 steps. Let's dive in and talk about each one of these things here just for a few moments. So when it comes to your title and cover, I want you to understand this. Books are sold on titles and covers, okay? Your book will be judged by its cover. So how do you make sure that you stand out? Number 1, put yourself in your audience's shoes when it comes to your title and your cover. Many authors come to me, and when it comes to their title, they'll have oftentimes a cute little saying that their mom or dad or grandma or grandpa used to say. And that cute little saying, is about their story or about their life. And the first thing, and I've already talked about this, but the first thing I have to tell them is, look, no one knows your grandma's cute little saying. And no one knows who you are. So talking about the story of your life is not what's going to be attractive to people. See, you need to put yourself in your audience's shoes and think, what is going to be attractive to them? Number 2, use uncommon words and themes when it comes to your title and your cover. One of my favorite authors is Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a really cool book called Outliers. Some of you may be familiar with that book. Here's the cool thing about Outliers. Outliers is a book about a very common subject. It's about the story of successful people. But what did Malcolm do? Malcolm used a really uncommon word to describe his common idea. And so it caught on, outliers. Now that word is used a lot more commonly, all because of Malcolm Gladwell in that book. So if you can find an uncommon word or theme, then guess what? You can absolutely positively get people's attention. By the way, I see some of you are trying to ask questions. We're going to have a Q&A time at the end, but I have so much content, I'm just going to drive through it. We're not going to have any questions until the end. I hope that's okay. Number 3, I want you to make a statement with your cover and your title. Provoke emotion. I tell my clients, magnets attract, but magnets also repel. Don't be afraid to repel the people that aren't the right people to you. Some people don't like what I say. They say, I don't like the way you said that. I don't like the way well, guess what? You're probably not my ideal client if you don't like that. I don't like the way your emails are, Robert. Gosh, there's lots of things that aren't likable about me. But for my ideal client, hopefully the things that I'm doing are attracting them. And you can't worry about the haters. Provoke emotion. Don't be afraid. Attract the right people, repel the wrong people. Number 4, get feedback. Social media is beautiful. Don't just create one cover or one title. Create 3 or 4 and ask your followers, social media, people on your email list, clients, friends, ask them what they think about your title, about your cover. And then number 5 and last, my friend, for crying out loud, this is what your book is going to be judged by. Use a professional for your cover. Don't just, do one of these $5 things or some kind of cheesy stock photo image for your cover. Don't do that. Your cover is what is going to speak volumes about your book. And if your cover is cheesy, then they're automatically going to think that your content and your book is cheesy as well. Step number 2 in the launch, I talked about the review phase. This article came out a few months ago. Amazon sues more than 1,000 sellers of fake product reviews. Now, why does Amazon care? Well, I'll tell you why they care about reviews, product and book reviews, is because Amazon is a search engine, okay? It's a buyer search engine. So when anybody wants to read a book on, let's say, business marketing, they go to Amazon and they type in business marketing, and Amazon is going to give all the suggestions that come up based on, good books for business marketing. So how does Amazon judge if a book is good or not? Well, a factor of their algorithm is heavily weighed based on the Amazon verified book reviews that you get. So if you get no Amazon verified book reviews, then guess what? The search engine isn't going to consider your book a very valid book for that particular topic. So right out of the gate, we have to focus on getting good book reviews for our clients so that Amazon, as our partner, the largest buyer search engine in the world, the largest publishing platform in the world, will be our partner and send traffic to our clients' books. So reviews are hard to get, but they're necessary. No, number one, no fake reviews ever. Number two, use your list, social media. How do you do that? Don't just make a post about, hey, please give me a review. Engage with people personally on social media. Talk to them, befriend them, and then ask for their help in buying and reviewing your book. And then number three, a great place are author clubs and Facebook groups. In fact, we own a couple of Facebook groups with tens of thousands of authors in them simply because we wanted a place where our clients could get great book reviews. You can join those Facebook groups and you can do review exchanges with other authors. It's a great way to do it. Number three, I mentioned were press releases. Press releases are amazing. Press releases can reach hundreds or even thousands of news outlets, and each one of those news outlets can reach thousands or tens of thousands of people. So it's a way exponentially to get your book in front of people. Now, they can be expensive. Many press release companies charge as much as $300 to $1,000 per press release. We use 3 press releases for every single book launch that we do for our clients. Remember, I told you it's a 1-week book launch, so we do 3 press releases. Here is our strategy for the press release. Press release number 1 goes out the day before the launch, promo launch begins for our clients, the day before. And it announces the newsworthiness of this new book that is just being published. Press release number 2 goes out on day 3 of the launch, right in the middle of it. And then press release number 3 goes out the last day of the launch. Each one of these creates scarcity and urgency and gets people to act so that your book is purchased. Now, I'm giving you lots of things to do, but let me explain something as we're talking through this. This is not a cafeteria style presentation. Now, you can do one of these things and not the others if you choose to, but what I'm telling you that we do every one of these things all at the same time. Remember the space shuttle analogy? We have got to make our clients' books bestsellers. In fact, we put it guaranteed in writing or I have to give them money back. And I have 16 employees. I can't be in the habit of giving money back. So I've got to make sure that my process works. I am giving you that exact process. Step number 4 is paid advertising. Paid advertising is fantastic. Advertising is absolutely crucial. It doesn't need to be expensive. You can get away with as little as $200, $300, $500 in paid advertising during the launch and really make your book a successful launch. Here's the thing. Remember I shared with you that traditional publishers want you to have your own platform because they don't market or sell your book. They expect you to market and sell your book to your platform. Well, here's the thing I want you to know. If you have written a book and you don't have a single Instagram follower, Facebook follower, Twitter follower, you don't have a single friend on an email list that has to do with your genre or topic, I want you to be comforted by knowing that right now, no matter what your topic is, it could be vampire novels, science fiction, it can be finance, it can be accounting, it can be coaching, consulting, it can be real estate, anything. No matter what your genre, right now, there are people that have built platforms where literally millions of people go to their websites, go to their podcasts, and go to their blogs. And all you need to do is put your book that's, remember, with the right title and cover, speaking to that ideal client. All you have to do is put it in front of them. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to leave that platform and they're going to join your platform and they're going to buy your book all at the same time. That is the power of advertising. It's so important and so crucial that we actually built our own in-house proprietary software that's cost me tens of thousands of dollars to build and maintain, all to help us to streamline this process. Remember, we advertise on over 50 different websites. So to type in, the ASIN number, the start date, the end date, the genre, the subgenre, the price, the reviews, to do that for 50 or 60 different websites is an enormous time waster. So we created a submission tool that actually does that for about 40 of our websites automatically. Now, look, I'm not selling this software. It's not for sale. I'm just telling you, we do 2 to 3 book launches every single week for our clients. That's how important this is to us. If you just have one book, your important book, then I want you to understand how important paid advertising is for you as well. What has this meant? This exact process that I laid out has meant that over 300 authors have come to us for us to actually do this process for them. I'm not talking about people I've taught. I'm talking about 300 plus authors that my team has actually launched in 26 different genres and categories in 12 different countries to create bestsellers. So I don't care what your category is. I don't care what your genre is. Doesn't matter what your idea is. This will work for you. Let me give you some examples. This is my client, Ted Coleman. He wrote this book, The Nehemiah Effect. I'm going to share more about him in a few minutes. But his book is a book on agile consulting. Now, I didn't even know what agile consulting was when he came to me about 3 or 4 years ago. But he's an agile consultant to manufacturing firms. Talk about a tiny little niche. Well, we launched his book and became a top-rated book, a hot new release, and a #1 book in multiple categories. This is my client, Steve Fisher. We launched his book. He's a multi-level marketer, residual millionaire, became a #1 bestseller in multiple categories. This is one of a dozen or more financial advice books that we've done and launched. Damon Lane, my friend and client, The Aware Investor, #1 in multiple categories, hot new release, top-rated book. This is actually a fiction book, a business fiction book, became the #1 bestseller in business management and leadership. It works for children's books. This is a children's book that we published and launched for a client of ours. This is my client who owns Liberty Tax. Liberty is actually a billion-dollar company. He's a Fortune 500 CEO. His name is John Hewitt. He's actually the founder of Jackson Hewitt and now Liberty Tax. If you know what Liberty Tax is, they're the ones that during tax time, they stand on the corner and they're dressed like the Statue of Liberty and they spin the signs and try to get you to come in and do your tax returns. Well, we did his memoir and autobiography, and we also did his Fanatical at Liberty, which is his business book that he uses to attract buyers to his franchise. It works both for the autobiography as well as the business book. We've done multiple cookbooks, #1 regional international cooking. I'm just giving you examples. Doesn't matter what your genre is. I'm trying to give you a wide range. This is Delano Lewis I shared about, #1 in biographies of business professionals, #1 in political leaders as well. This is a spiritual book we did for a client, The Prayer of Jesus. In fact, I told Kevin Jackson that he didn't have a prayer of Jesus to get on TV with a book about Jesus, and yet we were able to land him a TV segment on Good Morning Mississippi, and he was on Super Talk Radio, which actually is a nationally syndicated show. He was even outselling one of his heroes, Joel Osteen, during the launch of his book. On the other end of the spectrum, lawyers, just kidding, lawyers, total joke. My client, Wayne Schoenberg, is a speaker and a law professor and a lawyer. His book, #1 in law. Mitch Russo is the CEO for Tony Robbins' company, Business Breakthroughs, a $30 million a year company. His book, The Invisible Organization, #1 book in multiple categories, hot new release in multiple categories. Real estate, we've done tons of real estate related books. My client, Mitch Steffen, he's flipped over 1,000 houses. My Life in 1,000 Houses, #1 hot new release. You get the idea, right? It doesn't matter what your category or genre is. Absolutely, positively, this will work for you. Let me share a little bit about this case study and how it may relate to you. And then I'd love to ask you a question. That's Ted Coleman. He wrote The Nehemiah Effect. I shared about him. Here's what I didn't share. Ted and Andrew actually launched their book, and their book flopped. So why is this important to you? Because if you already launched your book, and maybe it was 6 months ago, a year ago, even years ago, and your book never did anything, then it's not too late for you. It just isn't. Because Ted and Andrew did the same thing. They published their book, and remember what I said, an average book sells 200 copies in its lifetime? Well, their book did nothing because it's in a very tiny niche, agile consulting. So they came to me and asked, could we help them with our process and our program? This is about 3 or 4 years ago. So we did our launch, everything I just described to you. His book became a #1 book in business consulting, a #1 book in business project management, the #1 book in industries. It was a hot new release and a top rated book at $10 in business. It was a hot new release and a top rated book in business consulting. Christmas Eve of 2014, just over 2 years ago, Ted came to me. He sent me this in our bestsellers mastermind private page. He talked about being #1 for months at a time. He says, as a result of that visibility, I landed a number of contracts and speaking engagements. The most recent contract was at $2,000 a day for 20 days over 2 months. That's $40,000. One contract, the most recent. They just extended another 20 days. I've run the numbers and I can make that work. That's agile consulting humor. Yes, 80 grand. Of course he can make that work. Ted actually told me that just from the launch alone, they did $250,000 in income. He goes on, and this is the cool thing. Well, 250,000 is pretty cool too. But he says a friend's a writer for both Wiley and Morgan James, traditional publishers. They read it and liked it and led to a 1-hour chat with the CEO of Morgan James. They get 5,000 submissions. They publish 100 books. 6 weeks ago, they offered us a contract and advance for our next book titled Flow, which is a follow-up book to our first. Several of you have tried to go the traditional publishing route, and you want a book advance. Well, the interesting thing is no one was interested in Ted and Andrew before because they didn't have a platform. So book #1, we launched, helped them to make it successful. They made hundreds of thousands of dollars, speaking engagements, #1 book, and they actually started being pursued by a traditional publisher and got a high 5-figure book advance for their next book titled Flow. Now, by the way, this is 2 years ago, and guess what? The book still isn't out yet. When you work with a traditional publisher, things are a lot slower. So, time for me to open it up for some feedback. I want you to type in. I want to get your fingers going. I've been talking a lot now. How would it help you? Be specific with me. How would it help you if, like Ted Coleman, your book was in thousands of your potential clients' hands? I shared how it helped Ted. Ted shared. He posted that. He said it made him, all these new contracts, 250,000 in income, speaking engagements, and even led to a high 5-figure book advance. How would it help you? How could you envision? Just imagine. What would it look like? How would it help you if your book were in thousands of your potential clients' hands? What would that look like for you? Brooke says, I can quit my day job and do what I love for a living. Coaching, writing, and public speaking. I love that, Brooke. Totally you could. Trinell says, it will increase my exposure just like your clients. Well, totally it would increase your exposure, but what would that lead to? Like, what does increased exposure mean for you, Trinell? Does it mean you making more money? Does it mean you raising your prices? What does it mean? Just imagine that. Susan says, HBO might offer a contract for a series. I love that. Susan, we actually did a vampire novel for a client, and his vampire novel, after we launched it to bestseller, got a movie deal. Now, in all fairness and in full disclosure, he didn't make any money yet. Okay, they're in the process of making the movie, and if the movie flops, he doesn't make any money. So just understand. I mean, a lot of things can happen, but yes, one of our clients even got a movie deal from it, which is pretty cool. Vernell says, would a book on personal life sell? Well, Vernell, I shared about that in the beginning. Would it sell? Yes, but only if it positions towards helping your ideal clients. Remember Zig Ziglar, what's in it for me? That's what you have to think about. Melinda says, I could go to the water and just write more, no more working. Well, I mean, writing is work too, Melinda. And, believe me, I made Ted pretty busy, right? I mean, $250,000 in income meant all these clients that he needed to serve too. So Ginny says, I would get lots of group coaching. I love that. Speaking, you absolutely would. Television spots, totally. Reach lots of people, increase my income. Absolutely, Ginny. Sis says, serve more of humanity. Love that. Eric, I could open my center for young adults. Absolutely. Sandra says, I need this, but I imagine it will cost more than I can afford. You know, I shared at the beginning. I'm going to talk to you about how you can work more with bestseller publishing. And I'm going to make an offer that I've never made before. And I do something like this only at the end of the year into the new year to really spur people on to this success. So, I hope that it will work for you. Ifelda says it would lead to a movie deal. Love that. Rosie says peer recognition, school and conference bookings, totally. Income, love that. Vernell, I would like to get media. I'm going to share about that in the next few minutes. Rebecca, Carmela, Charlie, Paulette, Stephanie, Joseph, M, Greer, Patricia, Vernell, Maria, Susan. Thank you for your comments. Thank you. Remember, your book, your best-selling book, is your gateway to your seven-figure and beyond business. It was for me. It has been for Ted. It has been for multiple clients of mine. It is for someone like John Maxwell and Dave Ramsey, who no one ever heard of until they wrote their best-selling books. And guess what? It could be for you as well. Let's talk about secret number 3, how to earn big money from your book, even if you are completely unknown. And this is kind of the exciting part, right? This is where the rubber meets the road. Here's the thing. Let me ask you, what would you rather have? And type in the question box. Would you rather have someone handing you a check for $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 or more? I've had clients get single checks for $100,000 and more. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have $1.62? Okay, it's a trick question, right? Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, right, Rob. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'd rather have the money. Yeah, absolutely. Ha ha. Focusing on royalties is like this. It's counting pennies. There are so many better ways to make big money. And guess what? Royalties will still come. So how do you do it? Well, we focus on 3 things. Number 1, we focus on speaking engagements. Speaking engagements are one of the best ways to make tremendous money and to attract your ideal client that is going to buy your books, your CDs, your DVDs, your coaching, your consulting, everything. When it comes to speaking engagement, you're literally standing above the crowd. And as a best-selling author, you have instant credibility and celebrity. Do you want to sell more books? Then guess what? Speak. But not just to sell books, speak to sell your courses, to sell your programs, to sell your consulting. And your best-selling book is what will get you these speaking appearances. This is my client, Karen Simpson Hankins. I'll share more about her, but this is way back in June of 2013. We launched her book, Conquer Your Closing. She's in the real estate niche. And she had never done a paid speaking engagement. Just from the launch of the book itself, I got this email. Hi, Rob. Is Karen, Conquer Your Closing, available to speak or book signing at the upcoming real estate convention, Trade Expo in Orlando? Available dates, etc. What is her current fee and expenses? She got offered a $2,500 speaking fee. It's not that much, but it was only a 15 to 20-minute presentation, all expenses. And listen to this. She could sell anything that she wanted to keep 100% of it. And guess what? She spoke to over 3,000 people. Here's the coolest thing. She is a mortgage consultant. Do you know who the 3,000 people she was speaking to were? Real estate people. Her ideal clients and referral partners are realtors. So there she was being paid to speak to her ideal client, and all of them looking at her like she is the expert on closing and mortgages. Do you think that led to an explosion in her business? It did. I'm going to share more about how her business exploded in a few minutes. This is my client, Kevin Harrington. Kevin Harrington is one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank. He's the inventor of the infomercial. In fact, he's the guy behind the George Foreman grill, the ShamWoo, the Tony Little Fitness, which is a $2 billion fitness franchise. Even the Ginsu knife was Kevin Harrington. But you know what? No one ever knew that because Kevin was never the guy in front of the camera. He was always the guy behind the camera. Well, we're launching his latest book for him, and in fact, it should be out January 23rd. But what he told me, which was something I thought was really inspiring, he wanted to go from behind the camera to in front of the camera and start to do speaking engagements. And it was his book that landed him a role on Shark Tank 8 years ago. He was on Shark Tank for 3 seasons. Now, Kevin, I just got an email today, in fact, that Kevin has been voted the #4 speaker in the country to large businesses and conferences. He does 50 speaking engagements a year, and do you know what? His fee ranges between $18,000 and $25,000. So imagine that. And this is a guy who went from never being a speaker and in front of the camera to using a best-selling book through speaking to position himself in that way in front of the camera. The #2 way, and some of you mentioned this, is publicity. Publicity. Now, here's what I want you to imagine for just a moment. Right now, okay, just in the United States, and I know many of you may be overseas, but right now, there are hundreds of different radio and television markets across the United States, not to mention Canada and Australia, New Zealand, and blah, blah, blah. Just the US, hundreds of markets. In each one of those markets, there are dozens of radio stations and television stations that reach a mass audience. Now, of those dozens of radio and television stations, every one of those stations have multiple shows, news shows, human interest story shows, biographical shows. All of those shows have producers that need guests. So right now, there are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of opportunities for you to be on media. And I'm talking just the big media, radio and TV. Add to it blogs and podcasts and print and magazines and newspapers. I'm just talking a sliver. Right now, there are thousands and tens of thousands of opportunities right now for you to be on mass media and to reach hundreds of thousands and even millions of people every single week. But there are some problems. The first problem is finding these producers. Now, we use something called Cision. Cision is actually a software. It's a database that we license every year. It costs my company $5,000 a year. And what it is it is a database of every single producer of every television show, every radio station show, every print, every blog, every podcast. I mean, hundreds of thousands of email address, direct telephone numbers, mailing addresses, you name it. That's why we spend $5,000 a year for it. See, I have 2 full-time publicists that all they do is book clients on radio, TV, blogs, podcasts every single week. So we need, first of all, a way to find them. If you want to really go all out, then you can buy Cision just like we do and license it for about $5,000. If you don't use Cision, then it's going to be harder for you, but you still can use good old-fashioned Google to start really figuring out through Google and the telephone who the producers are of various television stations and shows so that you can get in front of them. That's #1 step, is who are the people. The next is you need a formula to really stand out to them. This is our mass media formula. And by the way, remember I told you at the end of this presentation, I'm giving you a whole training, including templates and scripts. I'm going to give you all of this so that you can do this yourself if you want to. I hope that'll be very valuable to you. I've only given it away one other time. This is our mass media formula. It's C, which is credibility, plus AH and WTS, which is a great audience hook, plus a well thought out segment proposal, plus H, which is a little hustle and or others, meaning others hustle for you, will get you as much mass media as you could ever want. What's the C? The C of credibility is, the producer of a local television show, Good Morning San Diego, for example, is just like me and you. They want to do a good job. They want to be proud of their work. They don't want to make a mistake and put some fool on TV, right? Some fraud on TV. So they need to know that you're a credible expert. So you have to show them that. How do you do that? Well, when you're a best-selling author, let alone an international best-selling author, you have immediately checked the box of credibility. Now, from there, you have to hook them, and you have to create a segment that is going to be very, very compelling and positive to their ideal audience. Then you just have to reach out to them, find them, and guess what? This is how we book our clients every single week on ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, blogs, podcasts. We just had a client on the Howard Stern show. Howard claims to have 20 million listeners. Even if it's 10 million, that's crazy. We've had clients in Success Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine, Lucky Magazine, and I'm not talking about the digital version. I'm talking about the physical magazine where there's a limited amount of real estate. Every one of these people, all because they use the mass media formula that we booked them on as credible, best-selling experts and authorities. Now, what does all this lead to? What does this really lead to? Where does the money come from? Where financially does it really get powerful? Well, for me and most of my clients, it's massive lead generation. This is my client, Shanda Sumter. We launched her book, became an international bestseller. Shanda actually now uses her book as a lead generator on an infomercial. She's actually doing her second infomercial. If you've ever watched one of these late night infomercials or even during the day infomercials, and they're selling something having to do with coaching or consulting or finance or real estate, you'll notice that almost all of them are best-selling authors and they're using their best-selling book as something that attracts people to them. Well, Shanda did the exact same thing with massive, massive success. And now she's actually doing her second infomercial using her best-selling book that we created for her. This is my client, Russell Brunson. Some of you may know Russell. You may not. He's a personal friend of mine. I'm actually in his inner circle group, and he's been a client of mine where we've done things. Well, we helped him launch his book, .com Secrets. And I actually just changed this slide because I just got an email before the webinar. You can see this is from my buddy Jay Boyer. This is today, December 29th, 3:41 p.m. Pacific, and the webinar started at 4. So literally, I just changed this. And he says, hey, starting now, Russell Brunson's in the house. Just a quick reminder, we're going to be jumping on a training with Russell. He's going to demo some software. I'm actually going to share some of that with you. It's ClickFunnels. He says, this is the very same tool that enabled Russell to sell 26,000 books and generate $2.3 million for his book launch last year. How did he do that? I just showed you. It was lead generation through a page just like this. And I helped him with his book launch. I'm pretty proud of that. One of the top affiliates in doing it. But he generated over $2 million in income and over 26,000 books sold. Now, obviously, he sold more than just books because remember, he generated leads for other things that he was selling, all because of his best-selling book being the door opener for that process. You guys are here today. You're on my webinar. Why is that? Well, because we have what we call funnels. They're web pages, sexy name funnels, that we bring people through using my best-selling book and even my clients' best-selling books to attract people. Maybe you've seen an ad like this that talks about our secret Facebook strategy. Maybe you've seen this on my website. My book got downloaded 11,752 times in 5 days to help me explode my business. Maybe you've seen my free video case study, or maybe you applied for a strategy session in this process. Maybe you've seen an ad like this that talks about my free masterclass. After all, you came here some way, and more than likely the way that you came here was through an ad and some type of funnel. Do you know what this does for us? This enables me and my company and my clients to become the hunted. You know, in the past with my business, back when I was in real estate, we used to teach people to cold call and door knock and call, for sale by owners and call expired listings. And you know what? That still works. And some people still teach that. But you know what you're doing? You're hunting for the next client. You're going out there and you're hunting. What your best-selling book does differently is it gets people hunting for you. It changes the entire positioning. It changes your posture. Guess what? When you have dozens and dozens of people filling out a form and applying to work with you every single day, would that change your, I mean, imagine what that would look like for you in your business. Now, at the beginning, I don't know if everybody is here still from the beginning, but at the beginning, I asked you, would you like me to go off the PowerPoint slides and actually show you my back office, show you the funnels that we use to run several, more than one, multi-million dollar companies, all because of my best-selling books and the lead generation tools. So if that's still interesting to you, then go ahead and type in the question box now. Yes, Rob, still want to do that. We want the show and tell. I want to see your funnels, something like that, so that I know that this is interesting to you. Otherwise, we'll just, hey, we've been going a long time. We'll just continue on. So it's yes, 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 hell yes, yes, oh yeah, let's go, show us, yup, do it. Yes, show and tell. Sissy says, I want to see it. That's great. Of course, blah, blah, blah. Good. Okay. So let me go off. So let's start, first of all, with ClickFunnels. Now, I'm not selling you ClickFunnels. I don't own it. It's actually Russell Brunson's. And I think he's going to do $50 million this year from ClickFunnels. Why is that? Because it is the most amazing software to make it easy. And I'm not a tech savvy person. Make it easy to use your best-selling book to create funnels to attract people to you. Maybe you've heard of ClickFunnels. Maybe you know what the heck I'm talking about. It doesn't matter one way or another. But this is what we use to simplify things. Every one of these things that you see, first of all, we have membership sites all created within ClickFunnels. And every single thing that you see here are all funnels that we've built and simply downloaded to use to attract people into our world. So as an example, this is, the Kevin Harrington funnel. So last year, and this is what the funnel looks like. Last year, we did an event with Kevin Harrington, Bestseller Publishing and Kevin Harrington. And this is a simple page that ClickFunnels enabled us to build out, even though we're not tech savvy, with me, Kevin Harrington, my business partner, Kevin Hutto, where we actually did a live event. We had about 100 people or so. We did it in 30 days. It produced almost $200,000 in revenue just from that 30-day live event. And all of that was done using ClickFunnels to create that. You say, okay, well, that's cool, Rob. What other things can ClickFunnels do? Well, every webinar we do, this particular webinar that we just did, this is, I believe, the latest page for the webinar. You probably saw a page that looks something similar to this right here to sign up for the webinar right here. Free training reveals how authors, entrepreneurs, speakers, consultants, experts, and coaches can use their own best-selling book. All we do is simply paste and copy this information. And you can see we had 1,800 visitors, 1,124 people signed up, and that's all just in the last 30 days for this webinar. The webinar that literally, over 1,000 people registered for, through that page and another page that we have. These are all the webinars that we do. We generate millions of dollars in income just through our webinars. Well, what about using your book? What about some type of book launch funnel? Well, this is the book launch funnel that Russell Brunson used to do over $2 million in book sales, all from ClickFunnels. Basically, it's just copy and paste. You may remember what that slide, I just showed you the slide just a few minutes ago. Well, this is what it looks like. You just put your headline in, you put your video in, you got your information in here, you just block out this information, and this free book funnel leads to people giving you their credit card and their information to pay for shipping and then to buy your other products and services. As I said, it led to, from the email, it led to over $2 million in income for Russell. Now, we have, I don't know how many funnels, 264 pages, 69 different funnels, all of which generate millions of dollars of income to me and my business. I don't want you to get freaked out by these numbers, but I'm going to show you my actual Facebook ads, okay? I want to kind of open it all up to you, because if you're somebody that wants to sell books, sell products, sell services, get in front of people, build a business using the tools, very easy tools that we have available, then this is the stuff that eventually you're going to aspire to do. Now, this is what we've spent this week. Okay, now don't get freaked out. $5,443, we spent this week. I could never spend that, Rob. We didn't start there. Okay, so don't get freaked out by these numbers. I started with just, a free advertising using a funnel like the ones that I'm showing you right here on ClickFunnels. And instead of paying for traffic, I got on free media. I got free radio interviews, free television interviews. So I didn't spend any money to drive traffic. But here's the cool thing. Eventually, when you get to the point where your funnel is working and people are buying your books and buying your products and buying your services, then guess what? You don't ever have to travel. You don't have to go on a speaking engagement if you don't want to. You don't have to go on a TV appearance if you don't want to. I don't love traveling. So what do? Well, I put $5,443 into the machine. And guess what? I'll make $50,000 to $60,000 this week, roughly a 10-to-1 return on investment, sometimes a lot more than that, all because of these funnels. Now, again, it doesn't start that way. And these numbers aren't something that are going to happen for you in 1 week. But this is where you can grow to. And in fact, we have a couple of advertising accounts where we'll spend millions of dollars in paid advertising because of the return on investment that we're going to get. Let me show you another thing. And this might freak you out a little bit, but this is the cool thing. This is today. This is real life today. Okay. This is yesterday. This is Tuesday. Okay. Today is Thursday. I know this is recorded. Maybe you're watching the recording. These are full applications that people have completed. Now, I'm not showing you what these applications look like because they're people's names and telephone numbers and email addresses. But let me go back. Let me show you. So, people to apply to work with Bestseller Publishing, people will go to a page like this that has like testimonial videos on it, information about our programs, case studies of our successes. And they'll click this button, apply for a strategy session. And when they click it, they'll go to a page that looks like this, which that's coming up right now. So let me stop that because that's me speaking. So they'll go to this page and they'll fill out information. Have you already authored a book? Yes. Life After Debt. Click next. Then they'll be asked, tell me a little bit about your business. How does your book relate to your business? I'm in financial services. I'm not anymore, but you get the idea. And then they'll tell me, I need ghostwriting help. I need help launching. I need help getting on TV. I need all the above. All the above. So they answer all of these questions. Budget is tight, modest budget, guaranteed results is what I want, turnkey. Then they'll give me name, email, telephone number, etc. Okay? That is a completed application. Why do I show you that? Because that is what came in today. This is from today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 55 people applied today and gave all of that information yesterday. I'm not going to count them again, but yesterday, I don't know, it looks like 20, 25, something like that. And in complete transparency, this is 2 businesses. The new strategy session forum is Bestseller Publishing. Clients Every Day is a separate business, but we use our best-selling books and the exact same process. What does this do? Why am I showing you all of this? Why am I showing you these funnels and showing you the application process? Because I want you to see how you can go from hunting for clients to this, to every single day waking up and having clients hunt for you. Would that be a game changer for you? Would that change your business? Would that make things look entirely different on your landscape? You could be terrible at sales. And by the way, I don't take 55 phone calls. I'm sure you understand no one person can do that. We have a team of people that do that. I only get on the telephone with people after they become my clients, or if they are a very personal referral and somebody that's come to me through that. Otherwise, I have a team of people doing it. Was it always that way? Of course not. It wasn't. But you too can become the hunted with your own best selling book. Let me give you a case study. Then I want to open it up and ask you some questions. I'm also going to share the things that I said I would, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how we might be able to do some cool things together. This is Karen Simpson Hankins. I talked to you about Karen. Karen wrote the book Conquer Your Closing. We launched Karen's book. It became a #1 bestseller in multiple categories. We then started helping Karen with her PR. Now, Karen is a worker and a hard worker. Karen appeared, listen to this, on over 100 radio interviews. Now, Karen had 2 small kids at home. She was a single mom, so she did not want to travel and do television. So she did radio, and she did a lot of radio. I'm talking about an average of 2 radio appearances every single day. In fact, so much radio from her best-selling book that a producer got on the telephone with her and says, Karen, you've done so much of this. You should have your own radio show. And she started her own radio show, which I spoke to her just a couple of months ago. In fact, we were emailing even earlier this week. And she told me she now has over 600,000 listeners to her own radio show. Karen also, of course, started becoming a featured speaker on some pretty big stages. She sent me this email. Remember, this is all back in 2013 when we launched her book. She says, hey, Rob, I had to share some big news. I got a shocking phone call. I belong to the National Association of Professional Women. It's a network and educational organization for women with over 500,000 members. They just called and told me for all my work, what was her work? Wrote a book, launched the book to bestseller, 100 radio interviews, appeared for speaking engagements. I mean, work. For all my work that I've been doing this year to educate home buyers and protect their interests, I've been selected as the 2013 NAPW National Professional Woman of the Year for my industry. Wow, I didn't see that coming. I will be featured in a full-page article in their national magazine next month, and there's going to be media coverage. Well, she was actually wrong about one thing. The NAPW actually has over 700,000 members, and she was the Woman of the Year for her industry out of over 700,000. Her business has exploded. Her income has exploded, and it all started with her best-selling book. Now, you may have never heard of her, but it's fine because she is a celebrity in her niche. That is the idea. So let me open it up to you, my friend, and ask you, how would it feel? How would it feel for you to have your calendar filled with qualified potential clients, like I showed you, 55 applications today, or to speak to hundreds or even thousands of people via radio like Karen or speaking engagements like Karen? How would that feel for you? What give me the vision. What would life be like for you if that is the reality of your existence? Charlie says, incredible. Absolutely. Melinda, I would feel amazing. Yes, Michael, awesome. Sis, I've been retired and percolating, waiting for this opportunity. Love it. Ethelda, amazing. Brooke, I made it! Exclamation point. Right? Right? Woman of the Year, right? Out of 700,000 people. Susan, I would love to go the radio route. You could totally do that. You know, I didn't even share my story, Susan, but the way that I grew my business from 0 to over $1 million in the first year was all radio. I had never done a TV engagement until years later. It was all radio, and it actually led, similar to Karen, to me having my own syndicated radio show. So that's a great way. Melinda says, I wouldn't have to struggle anymore. Love it. Brooke, woohoo! Patricia, awesome. Bless. Stephanie, fabulous. Ginny, quit my job, doing what I love, helping people. Joel says, freedom. Yeah, it's a little Braveheart-ish, Joel, right? And then I see some other comments, but I can't see what they are, who they're from. It's still populating. So, John says it would be amazing, a life changer. Radio would be nice. Totally, it would be. Again, what I said we would do, what I did. Your book, your best-selling book, Chitra says radio would be nice, but your best-selling book is your gateway for this. It's your gateway to your 7-figure and beyond business. It was for me. It is for your heroes. and it can be for you. So I've shared with you, geez, and thank you, for your attention for over 90 minutes now, how to publish, promote, and profit with your own best-selling book. And if you're serious about becoming a best-selling author, then I have some really amazing stuff for you. I told you at the beginning I'd share with you how you can get help from us to make this dream happen for you. And if you're interested in that, I want to hear that you're interested. Take a minute, type in, yes, Rob, I want to hear, or yes, how can BSP help, or something, because otherwise we're done and you can jump off. Because at this point, I'm just going to answer questions and I'm going to go ahead and share with you about our program. So, yes, Sandra says, yes, Catherine, I want to hear it. Yes, I want to hear all about it. No, tell us more. Yes, I'm interested. Yes, yes, definitely. Yes, sure. Please help. Yes. Awesome. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. I love a little bit of, just affirmation. My wife tells me I love a lot of it. I've been married 27 years, so obviously she knows what I like after all these years. So I want to share with you for the next few minutes our bestseller publishing done for you program. Okay. I want to be really clear. I am not sharing with you a product for you to buy and do it yourself. I'm going to share with you how me and my team can do everything for you. If you haven't written your book, we will write your book for you. If you have a book, but it hasn't been published and it's not a bestseller, then we will publish it and make it a bestseller, guaranteed in writing, or it's free. If you want to get on TV, we're going to do all of it for you. You do nothing, nothing. So I want to be really clear. This is a serious, serious offer. It's not for everybody, okay? Just to be crystal clear. If it's not for you, if you are looking for a get rich quick solution, okay? It's not. I shared with you my client results, amazing results. But I also shared with you that, this took time. This is a real book we're doing, okay? This is not some 90-minute book, all right? It's a real book. It's real television. It's a real bestseller. So if you're looking for some push button, get rich quick solution, you're not going to be satisfied with this. This is not for you, okay? This is not something that you can just kind of, write some garbage and stick a cover on it and, you know, and it's great. No, this is something that needs to be done well. So it's not for you if, you don't want to create a product that is awesome, okay? So who is it for? Well, to be clear, it could be a fiction book or a nonfiction book that you want to do. You could be at any stage. Maybe you've been wanting to write a book for 30 years and you need help with everything. Maybe you've already written your book and you need help with publishing it. No problem. This is for you. If you want to be a bestseller and you want to get on TV, radio, etc. This is for you if you're a coach, a consultant. This is for you if you want speaking engagements. This is for you if you want to get on TV. This is for you if you want to change your career. I did. I went from real estate to financial services to now publishing, all because of my best-selling books. So this is for you if that's what you're looking for. So let me share with you what this entails. I shared with you what the 3 phases or components are of being a $1 million author. The first component is what we call publish. Publish is done for you ghostwriting, okay? This is everything from brainstorming your book with you and our team, creating your hook, creating your title, creating your subtitle, and then helping you create your table of contents. You do this with us and with our team. You're assigned one of our veteran, award-winning in-house ghostwriters. And when I say award-winning, our ghostwriters have written screenplays, movies. They're award-winning. You'll be assigned one of them, and the ghostwriter will help you to write your book and actually write, edit, and refine your book. We'll create your cover with our own in-house graphic artist. We'll professionally format your book for both a digital and a soft cover book. We'll publish it. We'll get ISBN numbers, distribution, everything. We will do everything from soup to nuts. Done for you, me and my team. That's phase one. Phase two is promote. Promote is making your book that we just created a bestseller. Now, if you've already written a book, then no problem. We're going to pick up right here at the promote phase. And this is done for you bestseller. Okay, this is us doing the work for you. So what do? Well, we're going to do the soft launch and help you get 4 and 5-star reviews for your book. Done for you. We're going to write your press releases and pay for your press releases. We're going to do your launch. We're going to do all the paid advertising on over 50 different websites, handle everything. You are completely uninvolved. Now, we want you to be involved. We want you to promote the book to your friends, family, associates. But even if you do nothing, we're going to do everything for you. And we're going to handle all the social media and paid advertising to over 1 million people a day on Facebook, Twitter, and social media. And we're going to cover all of it. Here's the coolest part. We will put in writing that you are guaranteed through this launch to be an international best-selling author, or all the work we do for you is free. We refund you. Okay? So you may hear all the stuff we're doing and go, well, that's great, but Rob, what I really want as a result, well, guess what? We put our money where our mouth is, and we guarantee our result that you are going to be a best-selling author. Then we move on to phase three, the profit phase. This is, again, done for you. This is not a product you buy. This is my team doing it for you. You're going to work with my in-house publicist, Alana and or Austin. We're going to craft your segment proposal. We're going to brainstorm with you your media pitch. Then we are going to get on the telephone. We are going to send your books to producers of ABC, NBC, CBS, the Howard Stern Show, if you want to get on that show, to public radio, to radio stations, blogs, podcasts, you name it, even speaking engagements. And then we will pitch you. And here's the cool thing. We will guarantee in writing that you will get media placements on these. So it's not just that we're going to do a few things for you. No, we again put in writing that you are guaranteed to get media. So the Publish, Promote, and Profit program, done for you ghostwriting. I put a conservative value of $20,000 on that. Ghostwriting can go to $100,000. All of it, soup to nuts, we will do it all for you. The Done For You Promote program, guaranteed bestseller book launch, I put a conservative retail value of $10,000. You know you're not going to pay that, but this is a real value. This is what people are charging just for book launches, without even a guarantee that you'll be a bestseller. And then guaranteed media placements. If you can find a PR agent to guarantee media, which I doubt you will find that, 3 months of guaranteed media placements, easily retail value of $15,000. Total retail value is $45,000. Now, those 55 application I showed you, our everyday price for this is $25,000. Okay? That's our everyday price for this. If all this did for you at even $45,000, if all this did for you is get you on TV and radio and media and help you launch your personal platform in business, it would be worth 10, 20 times the retail value. I mean, I didn't pay this much, but I launched my book and my business, and it meant $1 million to me in my first year. If all this did for you is finally get you on track with your book, make you an international best-selling author, to leave a legacy for your business, for your family, it would be worth many times the retail price of $45,000. If all this did for you is help you to land one client a month, that's worth $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000, what would it be worth? it would be worth many, many, many times the retail price of $45,000. Now, it is end of the year, and I told you I'm offering something special I have never offered before. So I have some crazy gifts for you to make this incredibly, incredibly successful and valuable. The first thing is I am actually going to buy you. I don't get this free. I have to pay for this. I'm going to buy you your own enterprise account of ClickFunnels. Now, if you already have ClickFunnels, don't worry. Then I'm still going to buy you and just extend your ClickFunnels program. But if you don't know what ClickFunnels is, and you don't know how this is valuable, I showed you right here. This is everything we have is built in ClickFunnels. The foundation to my multiple multi-million dollar businesses is all in ClickFunnels. I am going to buy that for you. I am going to give that to you and buy you your own ClickFunnels account. The retail value of that, according to Russell, because he sells this every day, is $11,552. This is where you can easily and inexpensively create your own websites and funnels and product pages. You can create a funnel to high-end coaching and consulting programs. You can create your own membership areas. Any of those things you can create all using ClickFunnels, and I am buying it for you. As I said, this is where all of our stuff is built. That is my bonus. I never offer that. That is not part of our normal program, but I want to give you everything you need to be successful. Bonus number 2. I just started this, and I'm going to give you 1 year of weekly group coaching calls with me and my team members, and I put a retail value of $5,000 on this. Here's the thing. In this program, we're going to do everything for you already anyway, but what I can't do for you is stuff like the sales process in your company or creation of products outside of the book. I'm not doing that for you. I'm doing your book. I'm making you a bestseller. I'm getting you on TV. But I can help you and coach you through over the next year how you can actually make even millions of dollars by using your book to attract ideal clients to you. So for the next year, you're going to get group coaching calls with me and members of my staff here at Bestseller Publishing. And that's just a few of us at Bestseller Publishing. That doesn't include our writers or editors or those in the book promotion process. Bonus number 3. Included in bonus number 2 is you're also getting private access to our Facebook mastermind page. Now, it's at least worth mentioning this because that page you know nothing about unless you're my client, because it's the page where my clients who are U.S. ambassadors and multimillionaires and Fortune 500 CEOs are all in. And this is where we help each other and support each other and create joint ventures with each other. And you're going to get complete lifetime access to this private Facebook mastermind page. There's about 300 or something people in it, and you're going to get access to it. Bonus number 3 is my 7-figure funnels with ClickFunnels. Now, what I didn't share with you about ClickFunnels is that ClickFunnels has this really cool ability for me to take any one of these, how many? 69 different funnels I created, and give you a code to share the funnel with you so that it just shows up in your account. You don't have to recreate it at all. All you need to do is take my funnel that's already successful, and you can just change out my information for your information, and now you have it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give you all of my successful 7-figure funnels. I'm just giving you the codes. You can have those, and you can simply download those into your accounts. I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars testing those funnels so that I can have success. And in turn, all you have to do is simply download that into an account and begin using it. I'm giving you all of that. I put a retail value of $5,000. I didn't know what to say about that. I think the reality is it's worth a lot more because this is what it produces. This is my whole business is based on the funnels that we've built out to become the hunted. So you too can become the hunted. Bonus number 4, I do client-only 2-day events. My last 2-day event, Kevin Harrington was at. And guess what? Some major deals got done at that event because of Kevin Harrington. He's a multimillionaire. I mean, he's worth over $100 million. He's done $6 billion in sales. He was at the last event. And guess how many people were there? About 80 people. So this is an opportunity to get some real personal one-on-one time with really successful people. I generally do 3 of these a year, and I only allow my clients to come to 1 year's worth while they're in the program. I'm giving you lifetime access to my client-only events. As long as I'm doing them for years to come, you can come to anyone you want, and you don't have to pay a single dime for any of it. You can come, you can rub shoulders, you can create, and you can do. Now, besides all this, I shared with you before, we put in writing that you're guaranteed to be an Amazon bestseller, in fact, international bestseller, or we do everything for you for free. Furthermore, we guarantee to place you on media during the profit phase. And I mean guaranteed TV, guaranteed radio, print, blogs, podcasts, everything. So let me just go through it again with you right now. You get the full Publish, Promote, and Profit program. What we sell every single day, retail value of $45,000. The complete done-for-you book. We're going to ghostwrite your book. We're going to brainstorm it. We're going to publish it. We're going to get the distribution, ISBN numbers. You're going to have a real physical book. You're going to have a real digital book. Everything done. We're going to completely promote your book. Paid ads, social media to 1 million people, press releases, and you're guaranteed to be an international bestseller. Phase 3, guaranteed media placements. You're going to be on TV if you're in this program. You're going to be on podcasts, blogs, print, everything. It is guaranteed in writing. $45,000 retail value, I think conservatively. This is a game changer for you for 2017. I'm going to give you ClickFunnels and Funnel Hacks. Funnel Hacks is this complete training program, an $11,552 value. You're going to get the weekly group coaching for the entire year, plus the private Facebook group, $5,000. You're going to get my 7-figure funnels, all of them, whatever one you want, in the account that I pay for you in ClickFunnels, a $5,000 value. You're going to get lifetime access to my 2-day done-for-you client-only event, a $5,000 value. Everything. This is not fluff. Everything is valued at $71,000. This is a real thing. You know you're not paying that. So if you need a book done, $19,997, $20,000. We're going to do the book. We're going to make you a bestseller. We're going to get you on TV, and you get all of the bonuses. Now, someone may say, well, Rob, I already have my book completed. So if your book is complete, then we're going to do everything for less than $10,000 for you. Everything. With the guarantee, with the media placements, everything we are going to do for you. Now, I want to make this clear. How do you do it? Is there a button for you to push to pay us $20,000? No, there's not. So here's how this works. This is for the webinar only, okay? This is not my regular offer. If you want to wait until next week, no problem. You're not going to get any of the bonuses, and it's going to be minimum $25,000. We sell it for that every single week. This is for the webinar only, but here's how it works. We have to make sure that you're a fit for our program because our guarantees are crazy. I know they are. So we have to make sure that we can actually get you the results that we're promising. If we can't, then we're not going to take you on as a client. We're going to be honest about that. So here's how it works. You go to this page, and I'll show you that in just a moment. I'm going to open it up for questions in just a second. You'll go to this page, and you'll give a $1,000 completely refundable deposit. Okay? I don't want your $1,000. Not interested in it. But the way that you lock this in is you give a $1,000 refundable deposit, and then we're going to have a one-on-one conversation together. You're going to ask me any questions that you have, and I'm going to ask you the questions that I have about your book, about your idea, about your program, about what you're selling, about your potential for media. It'll take 45 minutes to an hour, and we're going to make sure that we're a fit. If you feel like we're a fit and I feel like we're a fit, then we'll talk about how to pay for the rest of it. And by the way, you don't have to pay for it in one lump sum. You can pay with a down payment and then monthly payments. This is a real book. This is going to take us between 6 months and a year for us to complete this for you. So again, to be crystal clear, and I want to start answering questions you have right now, but to be crystal clear, this is for the webinar only. This is not available next week or the week after. We're not closing the business. We do 15 new projects every single month. As I said, we're a big company. We do 2 or 3 book launches every single week, but it will not be at this price, and it will not be with these $71,000 in bonuses. So the way you do it, you need to go to publishmybestseller.com/special. And on that page, I'll show you what it looks like right here. And I'll put that link in the chat box to everybody right now. You'll go to this page, you'll fill out this information. It will take a $1,000 refundable deposit from you, and then you're going to be directed to my calendar, and you will set a one-on-one time with me and my team so that we can discuss the viability of your project, your book, your offer. We're going to make sure that you're a fit for us and we're a fit for you. And if we are, then we're going to go forward and talk about the payment plan. If we're not, then we're going to refund you on the spot. We are not interested in your $1,000. Hopefully that's clear. Okay? So this is the site, and this is the opportunity for you to do it right now and to make 2017 a life-changing year. Okay? So now's the time to get any questions you want answered. By the way, someone talked about franchising. Jim Hansen, one of my former clients, was the CEO of franchising for Subway. I helped Jim with his book, and we made him America's franchise coach. His book was all about franchising. Here's what he said: I only get better by being with players that are better than me. That's what Rob's group does. In the last 90 days, I produced $178,600 in income, and a lot has to do with the work that I'm doing with Rob. This is what his best-selling book was able to do for him. Sandra has a question. Do you also do this for Australians in Australia? Sandra, great question. And the answer is emphatically yes. I have a dozen or so wonderful Aussie clients. I have clients in New Zealand. And here's the only thing I tell my Aussie clients. In fact, I don't know if you know a coach named Taki Moore. I just launched Taki's book about 2 weeks ago. Taki's a good friend of mine, and I did his book, and it was an international bestseller. The only thing I tell my clients, my Australian and overseas clients, is the only thing I can't do for you in Australia is TV. I do not have contacts for television outside of the United States. However, what I have found is that my Australian clients love to come to the US, and we will book you on a media tour in the US. I have had 2 clients in the last 3 months come from Australia to do TV tours in the United States and to go city hopping from one TV station to the next. And what they found is that in doing this and doing TV for the United States market and getting all of those TV appearances, because the U.S. market is so big, it helps them to do 2 things. 1, break into the U.S. market, and number 2, it also helps them to be positioned for anything they want in the Australian market. So US TV tends to play really well in Australia, we found. So hopefully that answers your question. Sandra says, I like my husband to do this so you can send a link for him to listen. Happy to do that. It's recording right now, so we'll do so. But remember, this offer is only for the webinar. So absolutely, positively would love, I will send you the recording and you'll get it. But if you're interested in doing this, then I would highly recommend that you go to the link and you go to publishmybestseller.com/special. I'll put it in the box again, and do your $1,000 deposit. It's completely refundable, and then we can get on the telephone together. So Joseph says, I'm working on literary magazine, for unpublished authors and artists. The magazine was launched in October. It sold 23 copies. After that, flatline. I'm here because I need guidance. Amazing contributors have been featured. I need to sell more copies. Have you ever worked on a magazine? I have not worked on a magazine. I've done my own magazines and they've been successful, but it is a bit of a different animal to have a magazine. So, I can't help you with a magazine, but if you want to do something with the contributors, like a compilation book, we can do that. We've done, the book that I'm launching right now for Kevin Harrington of Shark Tank is a compilation book. There's Kevin right there. And he's actually made a significant amount of money by selling chapters. So that might be a way for you to turn your magazine idea into a book as well. Jeff says, I've spent thousands on these guaranteed programs and got nothing. Jeff, I'm sorry about that. But if you got a guarantee in writing, then I suggest you get your money back, because if it's guaranteed in writing and they don't produce, then go ahead and charge back your credit card. So we put our money where our mouth is, Jeff. We guarantee it in writing. You get a written agreement from me and Bestseller Publishing. And if we don't produce the guarantee, we don't produce bestseller status, we don't produce your book, then guess what? You get your money back. So it's really simple. It's in writing. Go ahead and charge back the credit card. No reason to, though. I'll give you your money back. I'm in business to make money, but I'm in business to make a difference. And I'm telling you, if I can't get you the result, then I'm not even going to get started with you as a client. So that's why we put it in writing. But Jeff, if you got guaranteed programs and you got that guarantee in writing, I suggest you go get your money back, because that's what we do. Brooke says, can you email or send an overview of what you would like us to have prepared for the one-on-one consultation call to see if the program's a good fit? Let me tell you, Brooke, what it is. If you already have a book, then I'd like to get links to your book. When you go through this process, when you go to publishmybestseller.com, again, when you go to this page and you fill out this information, you're going to be forwarded to my scheduling link. On that scheduling link, you're going to get some questions asked. And all you have to do is answer those questions and tell me. If you already have a book, then tell me about your book. If you have a website, give me your website. If you have an idea for a book, give me the idea. That's all I need, is something that me and my team can do a little bit of research on before we get on the telephone. So there's no link or overview of those things. The link comes after you go to publishmybestseller.com/special and give your $1,000 deposit. That's when you then get the link, and you can put your information in there. So go ahead and do that, or maybe you already did. Let me know if you already did, and then you're asking. But just put that information in there. You can also email me at my email address if there's something a little bit more detailed that you want to do. Felda says, if I already have an appointment scheduled, do I have to make the deposit of $1,000? Felda, you do not have to make the deposit of $1,000 unless you want this offer. If you want to pay full price of $25,000 and not get the bonuses, then keep your appointment with my team member, and absolutely they'll talk about our program and they'll tell you what our full price offers are. If you want this offer, then this is just an offer I'm making on this webinar. It's my gift for 2017 to you. So if you know this is for you and you want to take steps forward, then make the $1,000 deposit. Or even if you're just not sure, I'm not interested in your $1,000. But if you just want information, if you want to talk to a team member and you don't have the money for this program, then yeah, I mean, you can keep the appointment, and my author coach will give you some advice and help. But if you want this program at this savings and with $70,000 in bonuses, then you have to make the $1,000 deposit and then have the one-on-one call with me and my team. Otherwise, it's my author coach and it's full price without the bonuses. They don't even know what my offer is. This is just me. This is my kind of gift to you. So hopefully that makes sense, Ethelda, and I answer your question there. Anton says, do you take clients from developing countries like the Philippines? 100%, Anton, absolutely. Because if whatever it is that you're selling is something that can be sold more of by being an international best-selling author and being featured on TV, radio, etc., then it's going to work in every country. That's why we have clients in a dozen different countries. And I mentioned that before. Maybe you didn't hear that, but we have clients, of course, throughout the US and Canada, but we have clients in Australia, New Zealand, Austria, Norway, throughout the UK, you name it. I mean, some obscure places. So 100%, this will work for you, especially if you want to break into the big, richer markets like the United States, etc. Dinah says, well, I have about 38 cents in my checking, so it's not going to work for me. I did, however, found this inspiring. I'm sorry that it's not going to work. Obviously, for people that have 38 cents in their checking account, this is probably needed more for you than most. But you need to start where you start from, Dinah. And there's tons of free information and content on my website, and I shared with you my complete process and how we do this. A 20,000 or a $10,000 program is not going to be right for everybody, but for the right person, it will make them 100 times this money, maybe 1,000 times this amount of money. It's made me multiple millions of dollars, so it's worth it. But obviously, if you don't have the money, then it doesn't matter. You start where you are and build from there. Sandra says, do you think there's a market in the U.S. for strategic business planning? Of course. It's a massive market, strategic business planning. 100% it is. I have a client who did a book, who is a corporate strategy coach, I guess you could call him. And we did his book, which was on performance, enhancing your performance in your life and in your business. And within the first 3 months of his book, he landed a six-figure, a $100,000 contract from a CEO of a $100 million company in Santa Barbara, California. He's just scratched the surface, but that was a pretty cool story because, I've landed six-figure contracts before, but to see my clients do it is even more impressive. So yes, Sandra, there's a massive market in the U.S. for that, 100%. Sis says, where's the live link to sign up? Sis, I'm going to put it again. Go to your question box, and I'm putting it in there now and sending it to you. But you could type in publishmybestseller.com/special. And that's where the link is, but I'm putting it in your personal chat box as well. Patricia says, does this offer expire? It does expire, Patricia. This is not my regular offer. If you've ever been on any of my webinars, then this is not what I offer. I have not offered a price this low in over a year. And the last time I did it was December 30th of 2015. And that was the year-end offer that I made. And prior to that, I did not offer it. So, again, our company is doing fantastic. We do 15 plus projects every single month, but we don't negotiate on price because, again, this is what we look at every single day. We have these. I mean, these applications are still coming in. 5:48 p.m., 5:28 p.m., 5:25, 4:51. They come in constantly. We'll end the day with over 60 applications. So when you're the hunted, the right people will show up. Not everybody is, but the right people will. So this special offer is for you. Don't, if you're thinking about it, it's a refundable deposit. Let's get on the telephone and see if it's a fit for you. Rebecca says, my sister has recently finished her book, Grieving by the Numbers. I would love to see her succeed. Grief counseling is a big industry. It's a big need. It is unfortunately an evergreen topic. I mean, just this week we lost, Debbie Reynolds just died. Was it yesterday? After her daughter died. I mean, towards the end of the year, George Michael. I mean, it's an evergreen, meaning it's always in the public eye. And so getting TV and media for something like that is easy for our staff to do. We would love to work on a project like that. Chitra says, where's the written guarantee? Sorry, but I burnt my fingers plenty. The written guarantee comes to you, Chitra, after we get on the telephone and make sure you're a fit. After we make sure you're a fit, we get on the telephone, we send you the full agreement, we send you your welcome email and all that. There's no reason for us to send any of that out until we know that this is something that we're moving forward on. If we're not moving forward on it, then there's no reason for you to have our paperwork. Again, the deposit is completely refundable. I'm not interested in your $1,000. I have a merchant account that I run millions of dollars through, and I don't want any chargebacks or anything like that, so I don't play games with it. This is not a game. You know, we're a legitimate multi-million dollar company. We've helped U.S. ambassadors, Fortune 500 CEOs, you name it, hundreds of people. So, you know, not trying to take your $1,000, but we're only willing to get on the phone with people for this special offer with people that have some skin in the game. So you have to show your worth by putting your money where your mouth is, just like we will do the same. I hope that doesn't sound harsh. I'm a nice person, I promise, but I assure you that I'm not interested in your $1,000. But you know, if I'm going to get on the phone with somebody and this is what I see on a daily basis, then guess what? I can only get on the phone with the most serious people. And the most serious people are, even though it's a refundable deposit, it shows me you're serious, that you're putting your $1,000 down. So hopefully that makes sense. Chitra says, I'm in the first draft stage. What should I be prepared for the telephone call? Maybe you've already done the deposit. If so, welcome aboard. So what you should be prepared for is questions about your goals for your book, the results that you're trying to achieve, what it is that you're looking for. And I want to see your monetization plan. I want to see how your book relates to the market. I want to see how if you've already written a book, in this case, you obviously clearly have already written a book, then I want to learn a little bit about your book, your title, your subtitle, those types of things. So, you know, when it comes to what you should be prepared for, is be prepared to talk about your book, be prepared to talk about your business as it relates to the book, and be prepared to talk about your goals and what it is that you want to achieve from the book. Rebecca says, I will send the link. Brooke says, okay, great, getting started. Rosie says, great offer indeed. Thank you, Rosie. I really think it is too. Sandra says, is age a barrier in the US? In Australia, over 50 is pretty hard. I'm not sure what you mean by over 50 is pretty hard. I'm 52, so I'm not going to take that as a personal offense. The over 50 market is the richest market by far in the United States. So it is a fantastic market to market to. However, you're right. A lot of people market to the over 50 market. So you need a differentiator. Well, guess what that is? If you're an international bestseller who's been featured on radio, television in the United States, do you think that that's going to set you apart from your competition? Holy cow. Absolutely it is. It is a competition killer. That's the whole idea, Sandra, about becoming the hunted, is your TV appearances, your media appearances, your speaking engagements, your best-selling book. It sets you apart. No one can compare with that. No one can compete with you. So yeah, it's a tough market, but obviously it's great. Sis says, where's the live link to sign up? I'm going to send it again. Type in and let me know that you got it and that you're good there. Carmela says, this has been great. I'll start. Great. Chitra says, can I sleep on it? You can. Oh, and then you say, no, I'm a first-time author. You can totally sleep on it. Absolutely. My company is not going anywhere, I promise you. But this offer is ending. And so when the offer ends, and you know, I'm recording all this. I'm considering doing another webinar tomorrow because we had over 1,000 people registered for this, and we had, I don't know, 250 or 300 that were on. And so there's a bunch more that for one reason or another weren't. But I'm not promising it. What I'm promising is that it's available now. And if you come back and it's not available, don't get mad at me. You know, it'll be full price. And guess what? Every day people sign up full price with us. So it's worth it. It's worth 100 times that. So every day it's available at that. Patsy is typing in publishmybestseller.com/special. I'm not sure why you're typing that in, but absolutely that is the correct link. So again, your risk-free investment to do everything is 20 grand, $19,997. You'll put a $1,000 deposit, and this is everything. It's the ghostwriting. It's the complete program. It's us launching the book. Just to be clear, let's go back through everything. It's done for you. My team writing your book, my team publishing your book, my team doing the cover, my team promoting it, my team paying for the ads, my team doing everything, guaranteeing you're going to be an international bestseller. My team getting you media, guaranteeing you to be on TV. Now, if we get on the telephone and we talk and you're in some obscure thing and I go, you know what, I don't think we can get TV for you, and we part ways, no problem. I'll give you your 1,000 back and we both go our separate ways happy. But we're going to guarantee all of this if you're the right customer for us. Then you also get the funnel hacks and the click funnels. I am buying that for you, paying for that. You're going to get weekly group coaching for a year, every single week with me and my team. Ask us any questions. Say, Rob, tell me how your Facebook ads work. Tell me how you do webinars. You know, I did last year's webinar, my biggest webinar ever. I did $292,000 in sales in 3 hours on a webinar. Would you like to do that? Well, I have a whole training on that. And you can ask me any question and you can have my training. All my clients get all of my training. So you get all of that for a year. My 7-figure funnels, my done-for-you client-only events, all of it you're going to get. Sandra says, I'll sign up when my husband gets home later tonight. Great. I know it's tomorrow for you. If you're in Australia, I mean, it is, approaching 6:30 Pacific right now. So in Australia, I know it's Friday morning. So absolutely. Or Friday afternoon or something like that. So 100%. Sis says, paid and entered the information. Welcome aboard, sis. Look forward to having a call with you. I guess you already scheduled the call. Chitra says, so if I wish to do the deposit tomorrow morning, it will not be available. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying if it's not, don't be mad at me. I may leave it up for tomorrow because I may do another webinar tomorrow. But I guarantee you it's coming down in the next couple of days. Is it coming down tonight? I don't know. I mean, I'm just being completely honest with you. I never make a promise that I don't 100% stand behind. And so if you go on tomorrow at 4 o'clock and the link is no longer working, I don't want you to be mad at me because of that. So I'm telling you it's available now. I may do another webinar tomorrow at 4 p.m. and that will be the last webinar of the year, and then it's done. And then we go back to regular pricing and regular everything else. So hope that makes sense. Patsy says, how do I send the $1,000? So Patsy, you put the link in there and go ahead and I'm going to send it to you again. You're going to go to that link. Patsy, here's what it looks like. You're going to go to the link. You're going to put this in, publishmybestseller.com/special. And this page is going to pop up. It's going to, let me take that down. It's going to ask you your name. You're going to put your name in, your email address, your telephone number, your street address. You're going to put your credit card information. You can see this page is just for our end of 2016 webinar special only. And then the page comes down afterwards. It's a $1,000 refundable deposit. You'll click complete order, and then you're going to be redirected to a page that has you pick a time to have a phone call with me and the team to talk about your project, your book, everything. Okay? So this is how you give the $1,000 deposit. You go to publishmybestseller.com/special. Let me know that you got that and that makes sense. Sandra says, understand all this, definitely interested in doing this. It's not new for me. Fantastic. It isn't new. I think what we've done differently, if I may, Sandra, because we're really the leader in this space in the United States, is what we've done differently is we've added all of the component pieces together and put an in-writing guarantee on it. I don't know of another company that does what we do, that has in-house publicists, that gets clients to international bestseller or money back in writing, and also books clients for TV, etc. So we basically took all of these components, brought them in-house over the last 5.5 years, and put a guarantee in writing. So you're right. I mean, it's not like all of these individual things are invented. It's not new. What's new is the pricing, the guarantee, and the fact that we're doing all of these things as one component. Chitra says, don't think I can afford the other cost. Not sure 100% what you mean by that, Chitra. But obviously you have to decide what works for you or not. So not totally sure what your question is though. Sis says, next question, to set my call with Rob, do I need to send you the email tonight or can this be completed tomorrow? You can totally complete it tomorrow. But sis, if you went through the process It should have requested a time. It should have said, click this button to request a time. If you want to keep that page up and just click that button and request a time tomorrow, that's totally fine. You can totally do that. Patsy is asking, how do I pay? So Patsy, I'm going to put the link privately or privately to you again. The way you pay the $1,000 deposit is you go to publishmybestseller.com/special. Okay. You're going to, I just sent this link to you. So you're going to put this link into your website, just open another web page, and then you're going to fill out all of this information right here. You're going to put in your credit card information. You're going to complete the order for a $1,000 refundable deposit, completely refundable. By the way, 23 people last year did this, and I refunded 5 people. So only 18 ended up with us because 5 people, for one reason or another, either they canceled it or I felt they were not qualified to do it. So again, not interested in $1,000. I'm interested in a qualified person getting on the phone with me that's serious. And as I said, when you have an appointment book that looks like this, and you're the hunted, and I show you how to do all of that, your best-selling book starts doing it, then you'll do the exact same thing that I'm doing, because that's who you're going to want to speak to. So Patsy, let me know that you got the link and that you're in okay. Publishmybestseller.com. I'm sending it to your chat box right now. Let's see here. Chitra says, I can definitely decide by Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Then absolutely, then decide by then. No problem. I mean, that's tomorrow, right? That's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., 7 a.m. Pacific. So no problem. Decide then. And go to that link and go for it. Coco says, my business partner wants to hear this webinar so we can decide to invest. Will this recording be available tonight? It will not, Coco. It is 6:30 Pacific. My tech team, my tech guy has already left for the night. I'm the only one left in the office here by myself. So once this recording is done, he's got to render it and then put it on a page. And so best case scenario, best case, if we even release it, is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, probably. So hopefully, that's the best case though. Patsy, how do I pay? You're asking again, Patsy, how do you pay? So I'm assuming that there's a problem. Tell me what the problem is with putting the deposit. I'll send it to you again. And you're asking a third time, how do I pay? So Patsy, you go open up another web browser and you go to publishmybestseller.com/special. And you can copy and paste. I'm putting the link in the chat box to you. You can copy and paste it right now. Even a fourth time you said it. Are you teasing me? Are you making fun of me about how to pay? Because I keep explaining it. Again, publishmybestseller.com/special. If you're having, a challenge, and you want me to walk through it with you personally, then I tell you what, I'm here to answer all of your questions. I think everyone's gone from my office. We have 2 big suites, so I'm in one suite and everyone's gone. I think everyone's gone from the other side. Otherwise, I'd say call our office right now, and one of my staff members will walk you through it. But if you still are having a problem, then type in your telephone number into the chat box, and when the webinar is over, I will call you personally or have a staff member call you, and we'll do it for you personally over the telephone. How does that sound? We're a real company. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 Pacific, sometimes later. Here I am, it's 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So type it in the question box. Okay, you just did. So I will call you as soon as I'm done answering all the questions of the webinar. And I tell my clients, I am here for you, for the whole gambit. So I'm here to answer every question you have. I want you to take advantage of this. I don't want you to miss this opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to change your life. It changed my life, and it could change yours as well. So again, $71,550 in value. All you have to do is put down the $1,000 refundable deposit, and we will get on the telephone If for any reason you change your mind and say, Rob, I'm freaking out over 20 grand, I can't do it, then no problem. I'll refund you your $1,000. We'll each go our separate ways. If on the other hand, we get on the telephone and I say, you know what, really, you're not, your idea or book or whatever is not really a good fit, then I'll tell you that too and refund your deposit. Otherwise, we'll move forward and we'll figure out how to take our next steps and make you a best-selling author and make you a celebrity. Get you on television, guaranteed. Margaret says, somehow I have an appointment without paying anything before ever getting on this webinar. After watching, I'm pretty sure that I am not a fit. My appointment is for January 6th. Then cancel your appointment, Margaret. Yeah, I've shared 3 or 4 times that these are strategy sessions. That's the way you got an appointment. You went through our funnel and you asked for help and you filled out the full application with your book or idea, with what your needs are, et cetera, et cetera. And, that's how that appointment was made. What I'm telling everybody is if you want this special offer and talking to me and my team, then the only way to get it is to put $1,000 deposit. If you've gone through the whole webinar and you just know, well, I'm not interested in doing a book or I'm just not interested in this, then yeah, by all means, cancel the appointment because there's no reason to waste, one of our author coaches' time if you already know that you don't want to do a book. So, yep. So 100% there. Still dozens of you on. My assumption is dozens of you are on because you still have questions or you're hoping that someone else is going to ask the question that you have. So understand this. This is a one-time offer that I'm making, just like I made December 30th of 2015, that 23 people signed up for. 5 people I refunded, 18 got started with me and have now become best-selling authors and are being featured on TV, radio, etc. This is a guaranteed program. It is a done-for-you program. We do everything. If you need us to do your book, then for $19,997, we will do your book. We will make you a bestseller. We will get you on TV. If your book is already completed, then no problem whatsoever. Then great, we will take your book. We will proofread your book. If your book has some holes in it, we'll tell you what needs to change. We'll help you with it. But we will not write it for you. We will not edit it for you. We will not change it. We'll just let you know if it doesn't meet our standards. And if it does, then we will proofread it. We will launch it. We will make you a best-selling author guaranteed. We will book you for radio, TV, etc. This is $70,000 worth of value, and it's less than $10,000 to do that. You are not going to find anything as amazing as that. So, Sis says, signing off for now. Happy trails. Email will follow. We'll talk January 4th. Sounds good. Look forward to talking to you January 4th. Sis, welcome there. Welcome aboard. Yep. Margaret says, this is why I posted this, to be sure not to waste your team's time. Fantastic. Thank you for doing that. So let me know what other questions you have. Now is your opportunity to get started. Publishmybestseller.com/special is where you get started. Sis says, thank you. You are super welcome again, and look forward to chatting with you and talking about your book and the media that we're going to do and all the cool, exciting stuff that happens. And I got to tell you, if you followed any of our stuff, I post, unfortunately, a little infrequently, but I post on social media every now and then my clients being featured on TV, radio. I love it. I get such a kick out of it because, my clients have never been on TV before. They've never had a TV appearance on, Good Morning San Diego or the Howard Stern Show or been featured in, Success Magazine or Entrepreneur. This is a big deal. And so I love to see how they light up with that. And for those of you that are ready to get started, I can't wait to see how you'll light up too. So let me know if you have any other questions. We've been going for 2.5 solid hours. Thank you. If you want these kinds of results, if you want to be the hunted, if you want to be a guaranteed international bestseller and having client after client after client fill out forms, track you down, hunt for you, then you know what you need to do. Go to publishmybestseller.com/special, fill out the form, give the $1,000 refundable deposit. We'll get on the telephone together. If it is a fit, we'll talk about next steps. and get your first project management call scheduled, get you started with my staff, whether that's in the creation of your book, building out the foundation and ghostwriting, or the publishing and launching of your book if your book is already done. But publishmybestseller.com/special. I see two more of you just got started, so welcome and congratulations. Look forward to doing those initial calls with you. Excited to see what will happen. There are still dozens of you on, but I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to give it 15, 20 more seconds. Then I'm going to sign off for the night. If there's any team members, and Patsy, I am going to call you. Let me write down your number so I have it right here. And I'm going to call you as soon as the webinar ends and walk you through how to do the deposit. Now, I am not going to have a long telephone conversation with you and have that strategy session. I'm just going to talk to you for a few minutes, walk you through giving the deposit, and then you'll go ahead and schedule that call with me and my team because I'm hungry and I'm ready to go get something to eat. I hope that's okay. So I'll call you, Patsy, as soon as we're done. Sis says thank you. And Few signing off. Love that. Let me know if you have any other questions. Otherwise, I'm signing off. Now is the time for you to go ahead and get started. It is never, ever, ever going to be less expensive than this. It is never, ever, ever going to be an opportunity with these kinds of bonuses that I'm offering than now. Now is your time to take advantage. Now is your time to change your life in 2017. So thanks so much for being on with me. If there is going to be a replay tomorrow, a live encore where I'm doing this live, then I will email everybody. So pay attention to my emails. And if this is something that you want to have a family member or somebody on live, then I'll let you know if I'm going to do this again. Anton says you're on my bookmark. That's good. If the link isn't active anymore, Anton, then don't worry. We're still in business. We're just not offering the same deal. Hope you understand that. Grace says, "Oh my gosh, your mom just got rushed to the hospital, and you will register when you get back." Yeah, I mean, I pray that everything's okay with your mom. They're a terrible time for that kind of thing to happen. So absolutely. So my friends, God bless you. Thank you for being on. If I don't talk to you again, or if you didn't get started, then I pray that 2017 is a good year for you, better year than 2016, that life only gets better. For those of you that decided to make your dreams come true and take action on this and make it happen, then man, I look forward to getting on the telephone with you and seeing the amazing things that are going to happen for you in 2017. Guaranteed. Not crossing our fingers hoping, but guaranteed, because that's what we do. So thanks so much. And I don't see any other questions, so I'm signing off. Pay attention to my emails, because if I do this again live, I will email everybody. If we have an encore replay, then I will send out the encore replay as soon as it is available as well. Thanks so much. You guys have a great evening.